Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Be Diced Adventures, presenting the Dimensional Dial of Dr. Diago, the second part of a party split event where these wonderful, wonderful individuals went and decided the best thing that they could do was break the number one rule of Dungeons and Dragons, split the party.
I mean,
Most logical decision to make.
There's a whole song about it, guys. I'm just saying. But yeah, if you missed last night's episode, go catch the VOD, and soon you'll see it on YouTube to figure out how Victor the Story Weaver, Daddy Tarzan 82855, and Mask Ren, all playing Clucky McCluckerson, Barrow, and Janai, all handled the distraction to lure all of these Kruthic out of their colony and engage in an all-out melee with probably almost the most creatures that I've ever had on a single board at a single time. So yeah, wonderful times. And tonight we get to see what happens on the other side of things. I have the other half of our glorious crew here, who I will allow them to introduce themselves now, beginning, of course, with KJ.
do we have to put this down? Anyway.
I mean, you don't have to. Live your
I
truth.
can't multitask like that. Hi, I'm KJ. You can find me on most social media at some variation of KJ Cosplay. I do not post as much as I used to because life. And no motivation. However, today I will be playing our favorite duo in one, Petricorn Riley, who kind of came up with the idea to split the party. But it's fine.
Not only are we splitting the party, we're listening to the idea of a 7-year-old.
10.
10. My bad.
There's a difference.
Yeah, the difference is 3. Next, Taylor.
Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl on most social media platforms, mainly active on TikTok and Instagram. If you like special effects makeup, smashable monsters, D&D, nerdy shit, cosplay, thirst traps, feel free to give me a follow. Today I am playing the former alcoholic, former lab experiment, Xanthi Nightingale, who is, again, just trying her best and is probably going to have a bizarre fear of bugs after this.
Valid.
That's the goal. I mean, what?
I already have a fear of anything with more than 4 legs, so...
Well, but you also say smash to all of them.
Yes, I have problems, okay? We all know this.
I'm so happy to be here. And finally, rounding out our crew for this evening, Dia.
Hey guys, I'm Dia, also known as Diavel.cos on all social media. I play one of our guest characters, which is Faeruz, the Genasi Jinn Warlock, who has done nothing wrong in her life ever.
Sure.
And was actually fully willing to go into this by herself, so splitting the party
is actually but that wasn't happening.
You know, in a lot of the projects that I am involved in, there are a lot of characters who introduce themselves as, and they've done nothing wrong in their entire lives. And I'm trying to figure out if it's actually true for Faeruz or not. We're working on it.
Listen, just the vibes that Faeruz gives off, there's no way that they've ever done nothing wrong in their life. Faeruz feels like they're up to some shady shit.
That's what a charlatan. That's the shady shit.
Nothing wrong is
this is the bitch who can sell a bag of sand in a desert. That is part of her ways.
This is true. Alrighty. So that being said, for anybody who's tuning in this evening and missed last night or the session previously, since this is all canonically happening together, last time on Dungeons and Dragons, our party had a brief, tenuous conversation between Faeruz and Barrow, the blind monk, which was then rudely interrupted by none other than Yan Si Bin, the Prince of Evil Air from the elemental plane of air, speaking through a very powerful Naginata known as Windvane. This conversation went swimmingly, as one normally does, just easy breezy. You know how it goes. I want you to let me into the material plane so I can cause havoc. What if I don't want to? That's totally fine. You know, I just might make you. That's very much so the gist of it. And it all went fine. Borrow totally didn't look like he was about to punch a child. It's totally okay. That is a thing that happened actually. But hey, he's okay now. There was some definite tenuous moments involving, hey, if I fuck up, you make sure that you pry this from my cold dead hands. Message received. Also, Tiger, named Raja, is here. The party then found the buried, as it was told to Feyruz, temple of their patron Saban, a powerful Tao. However, the rest of the party seemed to have recognized this place as the now sunken Skyreach Citadel, a very prominent building in the primary dimension of this entire campaign. Now buried several hundred feet below the sands, and now home to an entire colony of large insect like creatures known as Kruthic. The party decided this is where we are going to split. Half of the party, Clucky, Barrow, and Janai, featuring Tanakh, staying outside, causing a distraction, luring majority of um, the Kruthic out of this colony to make it easier for the entry team. Riley, featuring Petrichor, Xanthi, and Feyruz, all figuring out their own ways of being stealthy, invisible, quiet, what have you, to sneak in behind these large insect-like creatures in order to find this artifact that Feyruz was sent to find, which of course is where? Directly in the deepest part of the Kruthic nest, 4 floors below where they already are. Will the distraction end up providing enough of a opening for this group to actually make it to their destination? Will there be a lot of opposition along the way, and will they actually gain an artifact that could help our party leave this dimension and further their trip around the dimensional dial? These questions and more have yet to be diced. We begin directly as last session began. Barrow and Clucky making a loud distraction, which then caused these creatures to crawl outside of these very large double doors, down the steps, which this group of the party is hiding precariously behind, hearing their spear-like limbs tapping across the stone and then digging into the sand. As they watch dozens of these creatures pour out of the bottom floor of Skyreach Citadel, the majority of this swarm seeming to go directly for none other than Clucky, along with his new companion Raja. The rest of the swarm breaking off to try and follow Barrow down one of the tunnels. As you watch your companions deal with this large swarm of horrifying creatures, you all have a job to do, which is run the other way. How would we like to proceed?
I think Petrichor and Riley are going to go first. Mainly because even though I can't see Faeruz can see me, so Faeruz will have no problem keeping track of me. Xanthi might, just because of how my role last time was kind of ridiculous. But I also have an internal map of this place to some degree. So Riley's going to take the lead to try to find the fastest route in and down, which is those Arcana lifts.
Alrighty.
If you would allow, and this is more towards Taylor/Shanti, because of the nature of Levitate, rather than having those sort of clamber across walls, what she might do instead is, if you allow Taylor, she will grasp Xanthi by the shoulder, and since she's aware of where Riley is, every so often you'll feel like a gentle squeeze on one side and then on the other, sort of directing which way to go. And it doesn't feel, she's so light, she is air. It feels like there's nothing being tugged along behind you or anything. You just feel that light touch on your shoulder.
It is as much resistance as if somebody had tied a balloon to your back.
Xanthi being the only one not invisible currently. Because Riley and Faeruz are invisible, correct?
Riley's not invisible. Riley's just really good at hiding.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Xanthi would definitely be hovering with her wings, flying forward, following Faeruz's direction. But Faeruz will take notice that even with these gentle touches, Xanthi's body just kind of tenses up. She doesn't do very well. Even with very soft touch, it's just something she's not really accustomed to, or just doesn't like. But she understands that this is necessary and will just follow accordingly, clenching her jaw the entire way.
Okay. So did we roll stealth last time?
We did.
Okay.
And I got a...
Oh, this was to make sure that the swarm didn't immediately turn on you guys. Now you guys are entering the citadel. So the session last night, I began them all by saying, let's roll initiative. Tonight, I'm saying, let's begin by rolling stealth.
Xanthi, remember you have advantage because of roots.
Yeah, I got advantage now.
Alrighty.
Do I also have advantage hovering and invisible?
Yeah, you're invisible, which gives you advantage.
Alright.
Yeah. Invisible gives you advantage. Boots give you
That's not
advantage.
good.
Riley, I believe, has advantage.
I have
from...
boots of elven kind.
Okay.
We have 2 pairs of them now.
Hell yeah.
I am glad I have advantage
ridiculous.
because the other one was an 8. So it was an 18 plus 3 for 20 for me.
Yeah, this one was only a 10. The one before it was a 6. So 10. Not good.
10
Let's get
total,
them out of the
okay.
way.
And
27.
27. Alrighty. Divided by 3. This is the party's average stealth check for this is 19.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible at all. So, you guys enter right as you see that there's this moment where the last one what you're guessing is the last one, and there's enough time where you're like, there shouldn't be another one coming, let's go. Riley taking point and heading directly through. The door is ajar enough that all 3 of you could comfortably make it through without having to move it or anything like that. Entering into this dark foyer into a grand hall. Very tall marble columns stretching from floor to ceiling. The roof of this floor, can't remember what I said this last week, so I'm going to say it this week, 30 feet from where you're at. Very high ceilings, very grand. There is semblances of what should be art or murals all along the walls. These would look familiar to you guys. These would depict events in the history of Aetheria. Some of this might be new to Faeruz, but for Riley and Xanthi, these are common enough events, things that everybody knows, large battles that took place before the formation of the Daedarian Empire, when the 5 countries of Aetheria were constantly at war with each other. So you see battalions of dwarves in full plate armor lining up against hordes of beast folk, so dragon folk, leonin, kobolds, tabaxi, whole 9 yards. Any of those traditional half races that exist in D&D are on the opposing side there. There's another battle that shows a very large legion forcing a bunch of people into what looks like a dark desert, which you would both recall as a country known as Zakharoth, which is covered in a desert of not sand but volcanic ash. It's one of the most inhospitable places on Aetheria. But as you take in all of these pieces of art, these moments of history, you notice that it is scarred or pierced or defiled in some way, as these creatures have been living here for such a long time. They care not for masterpieces on the wall. That is just another surface to climb on. So these paintings torn asunder, these carvings scratched or clawed, and leaving a large mess, a very dystopian version of the grand entrance hall that you guys are more familiar with hearing about. And of course, center in this grand hall, the entire room stretching from end to end, roughly 300 feet in diameter. At the midway point, a void in the floor with some manner of bent and broken guardrails around it, and what looks to be some type of console to interact with. Riley, this is your destination, the Arcana Lift, which you can tell from the void in the floor is not currently present.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask for just a moment. It seems like my headset's going to die because I am prepared.
We love this. I think...
Take a moment to open the dishwasher before I forget.
We love this.
And we back.
I think what Riley does is Riley skitters to the guardrails and the console to take a look at it to see if it's even
one step at a time, homie.
Yes.
How about I get a group perception check before you go running through?
It's not terrible.
It's another 10.
Not
to refresh
great.
this. My passive is 18.
21.
16.
10, 21, 16. We will take the 21.
Yay!
Xanthi, you... So we'll start with what everybody notices. You are definitely not alone in this citadel. I mean, this stretches 4 floors below you and countless above, reaching, 400 feet. Obviously, not every creature came flooding out the front entrance. There are moments where you hear scratching and clicking against the marble of is it a wall? Is it the floor above you? Is it maybe the ceiling beneath your feet? with the occasional low hiss or chittering sound that echoes through these long dead halls. Xanthi, there seems to be some level of patrol in this hall. Two of these creatures, one maybe 90 feet from you, off to your right, and then just beyond the Arcana lift, you catch it shifting behind a pillar up in the air, maybe 30 feet above your head.
Xanthi immediately is like completely silent as she holds up her hand, and she is going to point out these two individuals and pretty much giving, like, can she see Riley and Fayruz? Like, I obviously can't see Fayruz, but can she see Riley?
You can see Riley, because Riley would have gathered us into a decent hiding spot up against the wall before taking a look, and then Riley was gonna go, and then you put up the hand. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and
Furthermore, I love the hand motions, but just as a reminder, you are all connected telepathically.
This is true.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that Xanthi knows that Riley's not the biggest fan of having
That's also true.
But this is a mission.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be fine. It's only when strangers do it.
Yeah.
Xanthi will.
Which, by the way, Riley. No, I'm kidding.
but
Please God, no.
Xanthi raises her hand. Fayruz and Riley both hear in their minds. It's just we're not alone here. There's one across the way there that just went behind the pillar, and then there's one I think a bit over there, about maybe 90 feet. We can't be rash about this and just rush into things, because the last thing we need is to have a whole fucking swarm of these things on us in the middle of their nest. And she's keeping her back pressed against the wall. Is there any place that they could stay in the shadows to try and maybe instead of taking the mana lifts, would they be able to?
That is the only way down, is through those lifts. There's
can't
no other way down.
Fly down?
I mean, we could fly down, but it has to be through the hole in the floor. There's no other way down.
Oh,
There's no other way up.
If we must.
These are prestigious bitches.
My man calls himself the High King, so...
True. Riley just kind of crouched down and surveying and trying to take everything in, will telepathically to each of you individually. Wait, Fayruz doesn't have it. That's why we haven't been using them, because Fayruz doesn't have one.
However, Fayruz is also a balloon on Xanthi's back.
This is fair. We'll just huddle and telepathically we'll communicate. That giant hole in the floor is the only way up or down, so we have to go through it. It's empty right now, so we could just fly down somehow. But if there's a patrol going around, we're gonna have to time it really well. I mean, we could Assassin's Creed this fucker, but it's gonna take timing and being patient and watching the rotations per floor to see what their timings are so that we can get there when they're least likely to detect us. Because if I get it right, they sense us not necessarily by noise or sight. It's mainly by the feeling of the vibrations. So it's...
How big is this floor?
Say that again?
How big is the hole in the floor?
It's about I'll say 15-foot radius, so plenty big.
There would be no tremors if we don't touch the edges.
That's not what I'm worried about. It's getting there.
I have there before. Depending on which floor we need to descend to.
Well, it's 4 down from here. But
is that
the biggest problem I can potentially see being a problem is if the Arcana lift is stopped at one of the floors between here and there. I'm sure there's other ways that they're getting up and down, but I don't know what those are and how safe they would be.
Are we able to investigate the hole in the center to see whether it looks like there's a interruption or blockage on the way down?
Absolutely, if you want to get closer.
Yes.
Riley's
Alrighty.
going to stay where Riley is because Riley is the only one who has feet on the floor.
This is true. So Feyru's going to like an astronaut on the space station, try
Just
to
like a gentle
Push up
push
Sandy.
and glide.
Lied.
Alrighty.
Xanthi is going to be ready with Mage Hand to, in case like if they need like any of the guards to be distracted, if she can like push something or make like a noise or distraction
Or
to
to yoink her back.
Feyru's if any of them catch her.
Oh my god, that's hysterical. Xanthi could literally direct Feyruz around with Mage Hand. That's
It did.
fantastic.
It fits the weight.
Exactly.
That they were able to
You're like
push.
weightless, so the Mage Hand
That's
could do that. That's
beautiful.
amazing.
That's good. Let's do that.
You're literally playing like just like don't let it touch the floor
Yep.
with Feyruz.
Like that balloon game we played as a kid, and we played like our life
Exactly.
depended on it.
Yeah. If there were trophies, I would have one. Anyway, yeah, this makeshift, mage hand and levitation of Feyruz, on top of Feyruz being invisible. Yeah, no reason that anybody would indicate that a creature was going across this floor.
We just have to do it very gently, otherwise the bells will jingle.
This is true. This is true.
Xanthi starts shaking Feyru's. I'm kidding.
In fairness, that is a distraction all of itself.
That's true.
Because if you're doing that in the far side of a room where she's not touching anything but they hear bells and then bring it back, that's a distraction in itself. But
That could be,
also
yeah.
she does have
I was just thinking about it like last session, like, yes, Feyruz is invisible, but Feyruz wears bells.
Mhm.
So
Jingy.
That's why Feyruz only got a 10 with advantage.
She's not stealthy, but her hands are quick.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Alrighty.
Diago. Piscacy?
We'll do from the top floor. This is going to be more of a perception than investigation, so go for it.
May I use the help action for her?
Not from all the way back with the mage hand evidence.
Mage hand. That is a net 20 for 28 with my 60 feet of dark vision.
Hell yes. So 60 feet of dark vision below you. You can see where there is the void for a floor below you, which looks like there are a number of hallways, a number of doors leading who knows where, and then the floor below the area where the Arcana lift should be still empty. It's the next floor down, so the second basement that you see the Arcana lift. No lights or anything indicating that it's operational, and also seems like it would likely not be operating. And even though you haven't seen one of these before, you're pretty certain that number one, it's not supposed to be like, if this is the hole that the lift is supposed to be in, that it's kind of halfway covering it. And also, it kind of looks like it's upside down.
She will cast message to Riley, knowing that Riley has mental connection to Xanthi, and just say, our way is blocked as of 2 floors down, and I don't believe that lift looks quite right. I'm not sure how successful you would be able to restore it.
Slight edit. The lift is halfway over the opening enough that a medium-sized creature could fit through to the floor below.
We would have to go one by one to slip through the small gap it leaves.
Riley will relay this to Xanthi.
Xanthi will kind of think it over. How many feet down is
I think last time some of the higher levels have differing sized ceilings, but I think, if I'm remembering correctly, all of the floors below us are 20, maybe 25 feet from each other.
Basement 1, 2, and 3 should have 15-foot ceilings. Basement 4, which is your intended target, has 20-foot high ceilings.
Okay.
So, are we attempting to get the rest of the group over?
Riley is going this entire time until Fairuz sent the message, has been eyeing the spots that Xanthi had identified the patrol from, seeing what their movements are like, seeing where the gaps are in what would be the most opportune moment for us to move. And we'll just kind of wait for the right timing, and then we'll just whisper to Xanthi, "Do you think you can pick me up and take me that way? Because that's the only way I'm getting down."
I got you. Don't worry about it.
And then when the timing is right, we'll signal for Xanthi to take us across.
Xanthi already pretty much gently lifts up Riley, whatever's more comfortable for them, like whether it's under the arms or
Doesn't
like
matter.
but,
Piggyback style, even though that'd be a little complicated.
that honestly, like I could just see Xanthi just carrying Riley on like one of her hips and just like flying her dragon wings and just but she will wait until Riley gives the say so and immediately fly her down while also moving Fairuz with her mage hand.
Alrighty.
Carrying
Riley.
the party.
Riley,
I
as
know,
you are.
reminds me of, it's giving Flappy Bird.
Riley, as you are coming up with the timing, give me a insight check to predict some
Sure.
movements.
Wait, can I
Can
give
I
the
get
help
out?
action insight check? Yes. May I give the help action?
Absolutely, you are also
Yay!
watching. You both know where these two.
We're gonna. This is ridiculous. We're gonna roll the chunk.
Hell yeah!
The chunk.
This is one that I got from Ruby, who, if you look her up at Ruby Rolls Resin, she's a dice maker. You can get custom dice from her. They're great.
We love Ruby.
Okay. Plus nothing. 18.
18. You are watching, and it kind of seems like the one that is sort of like on your side of the hole, 90 feet away, is just sort of making a slow counterclockwise circle around this hall. The one that is on the pillar seems to just like every so often rotate its position on the pillar, almost like it's trying to be an eye in the sky. However, with the two of them making this sort of pass together, and you sort of looking, watching, and anticipating where their field of vision should be, you believe you have a good spot. Or a good timing, I should say.
Riley's just, sometimes you just gotta take it. So Riley will not say anything, but will tap Xanthi gently to lift them up and then hover over and down.
Alrighty.
Xanthi
As
very gently lift the child.
Alrighty. Xanthi lifts Riley, makes her way towards the center, also using Mage Hand to kind of just sort of bat Fairuz into the hole. Very, very graciously.
And Riley will, as we're entering a new area, will first be looking at the ceiling as we lower to see if she can see anything, and then as we're lowering further, see if she can see anything as we're going down into this level.
Okay. Going into basement 1. Since you volunteered, Riley, perception check.
Help action.
It applies.
Meow.
Okay, that's a 7. That's Not persuasion, perception. 17.
Alrighty. Heading down into basement 1, sort of this moment, kind of looking around. You catch no activity, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing catching your attention. Xanthi, are you kind of like, or when you went into the first hole, was it kind of like a moment where you kind of like swooped up and then lowered down with wings? Or are you swan diving into the hole?
Oh, she is slowly.
Slow movement.
No, she is slowly hovering, and as she enters the hole, she immediately glides over into the shadows to
Yeah,
keep
it's like
herself
we are trying to
against-
make the least amount of disturbance possible.
Are we trying to do this one floor at a time? Because you do have a gap down into basement level 2.
Like,
Well-
slowly be working our way into basement 2 to see if it's possible, but also in case there's something that will catch us and draw attention to us, we'll abandon and hide first and wait for the timing.
But
Gotcha.
as she lowers into the hole, she immediately kind of hovers back into the shadows, pressing her back against the wall to be able to get a full perspective of the room from up high first, before slowly lowering down onto. She wouldn't hit the ground due to the fact that they usually can sense you through vibrations,
Right.
while also bopping around Feyruuz and keeping her from hitting the
I
ground.
can just hold on to you.
At this point, now that you guys are together, yeah, just kind of, you have Riley on one hip, you're holding Favor's hand. Mama Xanthi just going through them all. So yeah, basement level 1, no issues presented. Nothing out of the ordinary. You can move right straight on to basement level 2, but I would ask for another perception check.
I will give advantage to somebody who has a plus to their perception.
I have a +7 to perception, so
Because mine is a +0.
yeah,
I have a +8.
Ooh, +8 for Feyruuz.
But is Feyruuz close enough for?
Yeah, Feyruuz is with us.
Okay.
You're all one
Yes,
unit
guys.
now.
Okay.
You're
Feyruuz-
holding hands with the power of friendship, going through this murder dungeon that I made.
What is was that additional death or was that advantage?
That'll
That
be
is advantage.
you with advantage.
Helios, that is 21.
21, hell yeah.
Good.
Looking around this floor, this is the one where it appears that the Arcana lift is stuck up. As you're looking around, you see a little bit more. How should we put this? Things definitely seem a little bit, a little upset, like a little bit more graphic here, I'll say. I mean, not everything that these Kruthic bring back is able to fit through that gap in the hole, so a lot of the meals are had here. So you actually see a lot of discarded bones of who knows what types of beasts or monstrosities that roam these deserts or the lands underneath. Perhaps you recognize a Thrycreen exoskeleton or two. Probably some things that look more akin to livestock of some kind. There is, in fact, one, we'll call it fresher meal, if it wasn't for the smell coming off of it. But you do see 2 of these creatures a little bit larger than that of a house cat each, trying to get themselves a little meal.
Feyruuz is again going to message Riley, who will in turn commune with Xanthi to let them know. There's 2 little ones just over there by that corpse.
How close is that to the actual flipped Arcana lift?
About 20 feet away.
Riley will relay this information to Xanthi and then will request to be placed on the opposite side of the lift, right up next to it to see what they can do about getting us through the gap.
Okay. So, gingerly enough with the lot of you. Actually, let's add some suspense here. Xanthi, you putting the child down, give me a sleight of hand check.
Can I give the help action?
Absolutely.
11. And a 19 plus 2 for 21.
21. Absolutely. The quietest that anybody has ever put a child down, aside from when that child is asleep. Riley, you touch down on the ground basically just by the console or by the lift itself?
Not necessarily the console, because if there is a gap between the flipped lift and the entrance to the next floor, Riley just wants whatever's furthest from the creatures that we have seen.
Okay. With that, just kind of looking around there, the lift itself, it's very large. It's made of, you can't, maybe brass, maybe bronze, one of the two, with different etchings in the middle. So it's very large. Not even the three of you could probably move it together. Though, as you're kind of looking at the lift itself, most of it does seem like it's pretty intact, dare I say, circuitry-wise? And this is just me going off of, I know how
Petrichor would be looking at it.
Yeah. Petrichor definitely would understand that, like, it's all pretty much intact. It just needs some level of power.
It hasn't been maintained, so the circuits are fine. It's just rusty.
Yeah, it's rusty. It also potentially needs either a new battery or a jump start.
Xanthi would communicate to Riley the one thing she's really kind of nervous about is if they, as soon as they start up this, it's going to cause commotion.
Which is why Riley isn't necessarily looking to turn it on, but rather how we can get through with the least amount of noise. Because kind of what I'm workshopping in my head at the moment, as I'm also doing a crochet project, is Riley can't fly, but the other two can. However, Riley can go down first because Riley's the smallest. And basically just take a length of rope to tie Riley to Xanthi so that Riley can hang over the edge as we slip in one by one if there's enough room.
Yeah, so there is enough of a gap for medium-sized creatures to come and go between, like, in that area, but it is a drop. That is the thing. So you're looking at a 15-foot drop to the floor below, or if you were doing this unassisted, potentially falling down to the fourth floor, which would make it a 35-foot drop.
Hence,
so
tying Riley to Xanthi.
Correct. So absolutely able to happen. There is enough room for any of you to get through comfortably. It would just be doing so quietly.
So I have a question, DM. So I can only take one person with me with using Dimension Door, and I have like plenty of spell slots. But I'm wondering if we put Feyruuz in her bottle, would I be able to put her on my person and then just teleport Riley through the door with Feyruuz in her bottle?
No, so here's the thing. I was thinking about this. If it weren't for the necessity of flying, what we could also do is Feyruuz takes another one of you into her bottle and then have the sneakiest person of the one who can fly just go straight in. And then you would only need to worry about one person being stealthy.
However,
a person.
You may only access your genie's respite once per day. Or once per long rest, I should say.
And we've only had a short rest. rest. So you haven't a long rest yet, so that's kind of out of the picture. I didn't think about that.
So it's
I
not
did.
bottled respite, it's the sanctuary of the vessel, of just going into it.
Right. That basically adds the amount of people that you can bring into your bottled respite. It doesn't change the amount of times that you can access it. It's when you go into your little sanctuary area, how many people you can take. Because before level 10, I think, you can only put yourself in there. And then you can bring it up to 6, I think. Unless I'm miscommunicating, in which if that's the case, then I need to have a discussion with Mr. Dandy DM because I could have been doing shit.
Yeah. Anyways, that's fine. We have a ways to go through.
Yeah.
It just would have been funny.
It's just going to be a bit more tedious.
Yeah.
Which is always how it is.
That's how it is with all stealth missions. Sometimes it's just fun to blow shit up.
Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to.
No, we can't
No.
do that.
No.
Why not?
I don't
Let's
think
light
so.
the scandal.
Light the scandal.
No.
Alrighty. So we
Yeah,
are.
Riley will slowly, to avoid as much noise as possible, because Riley doesn't know what they can and cannot sense. Will
Yeah.
start tying a length of rope to herself, and then help tie it to Xanthi, and will be the first to ever so carefully crawl down the gap and just hang at the bottom.
Alrighty.
And Xanthi is just hovering just above with the rope tied around her. And as soon as it looks like Petrichor or Riley is all the way in, she will slowly follow suit with Mage Hand, holding Feyre's hand and pulling her with them. And she will not immediately go to the ground. She would kind of pull Riley up, keep her close, and again confide herself to the shadows before she decides to set.
I don't think these things have eyes, though, which is why I'm not super concerned about like them seeing us.
They do.
Here, they do. Well, never mind then.
But either
Ignore
way,
what I just said.
still gonna keep to the shadows because she's trying not to. She's trying to not avoid detection. So,
Alrighty. Riley.
Mhm.
Whereas I would normally have you roll a perception check on your way down, I'm going to have, since you're the first one going down, I'm going to have Riley roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Okay.
no.
Using Riley's stats. Oh, okay. That's not terrible. What dice do I want to use for this, though? You know what? Just
Good
because
one.
I think it'll be funny, I'm gonna roll Duke's dice, because Duke's is unpredictable. I never know what this dice is gonna roll.
Perfect time to use that when I just all of a sudden spring a wisdom saving throw on you as you go into unexplored territory.
We love it for the story.
For the story.
22.
22. Lucky you. When did Riley all of a sudden get good at wisdom saving throws? I
I have proficiency in wisdom saving throws.
I was counting on her failing one in Ebenfell, which I told you about, but that's beside the point.
Why do I have proficiency in this?
Did you multi-class or something? That's neither here nor there.
Not as Riley.
So you definitely resist becoming frightened of a pretty gruesome sight that Riley actually probably would have some frame of reference of seeing something similar before. Skeletal humanoid remains huddled in corners of people who you could definitely guess were trapped beneath the lift, unable to get out when shit hit the fan.
Mm-hmm. Even though Riley succeeds on this save, there's definitely that air of emotion, not of fear, but rather of anger. Because yes, Riley does have a frame of reference of this. Riley has seen stuff like this before.
Yep. I don't
But
always get to do
makes-
callbacks to that dimension. Yes.
But Riley makes no like point to point it out or anything because they're gonna see it.
Yep. That's the whole thing. And good on you for passing that save, because if you had the frightened condition, it would not be very easy for you to stay quiet.
Mhm.
Other than that, making your way down to the third basement floor is just as simple as being lowered down the rope by Xanthi. Now I will have you do a perception check.
Me?
Yes, you are the one on the third floor.
Good lord.
You keep taking point. The one time that you were like, no, somebody else roll perception. And I was like, okay, cool. And then you're like, I'm going first.
It's because Riley's the smallest, and that's how it has to be able to do it.
This is true. And I'm surprised that Xanthi is letting the baby go first.
It's
Well, she really doesn't have another choice. And
Also
it's
true.
probably
I
the
don't know
safest
what
way to
dice
go
to
about
use.
it.
I'm scared of all of
Yeah,
my
you just
dice.
spice them up.
This is why you just have dice and you use them. That's just the one.
I don't trust any of them though.
Have contingency plan. It's okay.
Have a friend who is gracious enough to buy you a beautiful set of dimensional dice that you use every time you play this game.
I spent way too long looking for those two. Anyway, that's a 13.
13 on perception. Looking around this floor, other than the aforementioned bodies, this area does seem a little more cramped, I would say. Like, there's not as big of a sort of exit area for the Arcana lift here. It goes right into a hallway which leads down with a bunch of debris and doors, some ajar, some barricaded. And it's just like there's a bunch of stuff in this area, what looks like the remnants of ancient makeshift campfires, and just all kinds of stuff that people used to try to stay alive down here and didn't end up lasting very long. But even with a 13, you do pick up on the sounds below. You're getting closer and closer, and you're beginning to hear more and more little hisses and more little skitters along the marble floors and walls.
Mm-hmm. Riley is just gonna, like, mentally message to Xanthi, being like, I'm a little distracted, but I'm sure there's shit I'm not seeing. Help.
Don't die on me, Taylor.
And it's still just, like, on the rope, hovering in the air. And it's just like...
It's like Mission Impossible.
Is there enough space for fairies to sort of move?
It's one at a time. Like,
across the
Riley
rope?
tied herself to Xanthi, not, like, to be lowered down, but, like, to hang so we can together one by one through the hole.
I will say, if Riley is if only in the hole currently, there is just the rope with Riley below it. Would Favoruse be able to go in to
Favoruse
help
can
get
go
a
in,
better
yeah.
perspective of thing,
Yeah,
and
it is
then
one card.
follow him last.
Yep. Perfect. So, Fairuz, you enter into this space. You see much a similar sight as was described before. And if you would like to try to see if there's anything else going on, you may roll a perception check.
That's a really bad roll. That was only a 13. And that's for +8. I need to refresh this page again.
Interesting.
This is why I don't roll digital dice.
I believe that is
Otherwise, passive is 18.
true. If this was something that you were picking up, actually, no. You should pick up on this passively. Everything basically as described with Riley before. So you don't see anything else on this floor. You don't hear anything else on this floor. You do hear from below these sort of skittering and everything. And you're from this dimension, so this is probably the most Kruthic that Fairuz has seen, but it's not her first by any means. So these are sounds that you're used to. You're just not normally used to hearing this many. And with an 18 passive, it
1/8.
definitely sounds like a hiss from a Kruthic that you're familiar with. But what's different is the volume is much louder and the pitch is much lower. And there's more than one that sounds like this.
Is there another hole that shows the floor below?
Nope.
Is this the floor that we're meant to be on? Or is it just like
One more down.
one more down?
Yeah, you're
Taking
the
a
one who
look now.
actually did I can't remember. Commune with nature. So you actually saw, yes, you would need to go one more floor down. There is a doorway leading into a very large room where you know that the artifact that that Saban asked you to gather from his quote-unquote temple is somewhere in that room.
Taking a look around this room, can I see whether there is another passageway or doorway that may suggest a way further down?
Give me an investigation check.
This is only a +1.
Okay.
No, that is a 12. Where's my bone dice?
With a 12, unfortunately, nothing seems like an alternative entrance into the fourth basement. Looks like it is just down that last vacant shaft of the Arcana lift.
Favories will relay this to Riley, saying we must travel on foot, on wing, on air, but there is no immediate drop down any further.
Riley will relay this to Xanthi as we are slowly descending.
I should roll my mirror Shana dice.
Does Xanthi see anything upon entering the establishment aside from what is explained to her?
Nothing new on top of all of those things.
Okay. And she's able to hear, I'm guessing, like the hissing. Does she see any of these creatures?
No.
Is it coming from like the shaft, or is it like in the is it in the room with us?
It is coming from the shaft below.
Ooh, that's spooky. I guess. Fuck. I guess the first thing we do is like get settled, like make sure the baby's just not like hanging by a rope, and get them settled on the ground. And she's gonna kind of again make sure there's nothing in the room, but she is very nervous about the noises that are coming out of that shaft. She's not exactly sure how to approach this, but she will turn to Fairuz and being like, you are, well, I guess she'll kind of message to, or mentally message to Fairuz, you're the only one who's invisible here. I'm not quite sure what we're gonna be seeing if we go down there in full view.
She will message them back, saying, if you maintain a low profile, I believe I have an idea. Once we encounter the center of the nest, stay hidden as much as possible until then.
That's a sentence.
Know more about this plan, Fairuz?
No. I have ways to cause many disruptive diversions for our cause.
All right.
This-
Well, we'll stay hidden.
Mirror dice.
This is an exchange that makes a DM wonder if one player is about to trivialize their entire combat.
She's doing nothing wrong. She's defending her friends. Thank you.
Right.
I will say Xanthi actually probably wouldn't have put Riley down. She probably would have been holding Riley, and so whenever they do descend, she's going to pretty much be keeping her back and her dark wings against the wall in the shadows to try and like keep the baby covered. And
Well, as far as I am collecting here, there's no more like hold descent. The rest of this is trekked what could be on foot. So
one
as
more
much as
hole, but then it's all on foot.
Mhm. So as soon as we hit the ground, Riley's gonna want to be put down.
all right. Well, no, I'm talking whenever like we descend through the hole.
yeah.
Like Xanthi is going to be pretty much like trying to keep her body to help keep the baby even more stealthy than usual and staying in the shadows until like we know it's safe to like hit the ground. And she'll put Riley down gently.
Okay. So, entering this final floor, this final basement level, everybody comes in very gently, and contrary to the floors above, there is only one door on this level, directly across from where the Arcana lift would rest. And this door doesn't look like a, single door to a room or a double door into a greater space. This looks like a vault door. A vault door that is open.
Forcefully? Are there signs of a breach?
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah, that's
With advantage because Riley is also curious.
okay.
Get it, Ruse.
Sorry, I have one light source. That's an 8 with advantage. She's only got a +1 to investigation.
Maybe I should have rolled this.
If you would like to, because you have a better investigation score, I will allow it just in this moment.
Bet.
I will say Xanthi is keeping a constant eye out while they're investigating this, making sure that there's nothing trying to sneak up on them.
24.
Nice.
That's a little bit better than an 8.
Like that.
This door, and I'm kind of lumping in Petrichor's sort of expertise in this as well. This is a formidable door, but I mean, there's nothing on here really suggesting that it's too difficult to open forcibly. However, Petrichor would tell you that there are signs that there were magical wards placed on this vault that were destroyed so that somebody could gain access to this room.
So it wasn't the bugs that did this. This is someone else.
I mean, it could have been the bugs, but like, I doubt it.
It could have been before the bugs.
I'm just saying, from the legend lore that we got and the fact that we knew that there were people here that got trapped beforehand, either one or some of those people, or the history between this thing falling and the gap of time between the worms coming to create the tunnels around here and then the infestation and moving in of these creatures. That's the gap that this may have been known as Sivan's temple.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the
Knows?
building didn't fall. It was
It was buried.
It is still buried. This almost the entirety of this 400-foot tall citadel. You would know. I mean, you have a lion drake. You've probably flown over this area quite a few times. There is on the spot what looks to be like a little glass dome that you never went into because it's swarming with Kruthic up there.
Little Kruthic observatory.
That's just the top floor of Skyreach Citadel. You just didn't really know what it was because you didn't know that it went all the way down here. But Saban did tell you that there was something down here, and the best way to do it is going through the Thrycreen City.
Yes, that was the safest way.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Xanthi's gonna mage hand the door open.
It's
it
already
is
open.
open.
Well, like open it like all the way if it's not like completely.
No.
Oh,
For
it is
these
definitely
things, for these
open.
things to get through,
Yeah.
It's going to make noise.
Oh shit! Didn't think about that. Yeah.
It's going to make noise. It's going to make a really bad vibration.
It's
It
not
would make-
even the no. Like these things are huge, so for them to get through this, it's already open enough that we can traverse.
So I would say, these creatures that you've seen the small size. Literally, it's a small size category for the young ones. They're about as big as a house cat. The ones that you saw patrolling and the ones that are assaulting your friends upstairs, they are medium-sized creatures. So they are roughly they're bigger than you guys are, but not by that much that you'd consider them to be a large-sized creature. This vault is open wide enough for a large-sized creature to make it in and out.
Carefully,
We chillin'.
we go forward.
Alrighty.
Very quietly.
Good thing you guys are being quiet because the chittering and hissing and the sounds of some type of scuffling over the floor is definitely loud and distracting.
Oh god.
So, it's at this point, if I could get the three of you to pay attention for a moment to Discord as I send the link to Owlbear Rodeo.
Bye.
Did you say why?
I said slide.
Oh, they were like, why? Why would you do this, Matt?
It's like, no, we anticipate.
Yeah,
I was watching
no.
today's game. Let me load.
I had the other game open, and then I got bored, so I was doing other things while it was open.
Fair.
I am slightly scared because in the dark.
Matt,
Yes.
did you remember to send it to me personally?
Nope. Rectified.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm nervous.
You should be.
Oh, that's a lot of them. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Okay. First of all, let us survey this room, and then.
Yes, because you guys can take a peek inside here. And while you're taking a peek at the map, I'm going to yell at Victor, who literally had us sitting in anticipation for half an hour and didn't finish the word. I'm upset. Victor, prison.
That's Victor for you.
That is Victor for you. Yeah, now you're doing it because I called you out. I see. All right.
How much of this can we actually see? Like, is it lit at all in here?
It's not.
Like, is it in here?
Dim light?
I'll call it dim light.
Because that'll affect how much Riley can actually see. Because Riley's just a baby. A baby human with no dark vision.
baby human. Alrighty, so as you guys are strategizing, and I did just put you guys on the map by the door that you come in, so that's not necessarily right where you are at this moment, so feel free to reposition thyselves.
How tall is this room? Right? Like, how tall is this room?
20 feet.
Great. Beirut is going to drift up 20 feet. Like a light push and just get her beyond what she deems to be claw height attack range of these creatures. Melee speaking.
Alrighty.
And as she does so, she would like to take a look to see if there's any notable items within this space.
Give me a perception check.
Nice. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26. Thank you, Mira.
6.
18 plus 8.
26, gotcha.
Hmm.
You can see a number of books scattered around, empty potion bottles, some very large alchemical equipment here, and just a bunch of other things that are kind of scattered out, like some crystals and things that might be of interest if you could take a peek at them. There's a couple of bookshelves, but it does look like a lot of stuff was removed from this vault, as it is technically supposed to be. However, if you will turn your attention to the upper left corner of the map, deepest in the nest area, a glowing red object in a sort of receptacle, I will say, that is built into the wall. There, Feyruz, is your prize.
Okay. So this is the time she schemes and will message Riley saying, recall what I told you about this small idea that I had. Please tell Sanfi, once I cast my spell, let me just double check something. Nobody plays concentration. Please tell Sanfi to bring me back down. I would like all of us to be as close as the door we entered from as possible.
I can message that because I don't want to use the 2 very valuable spell slots that I have access to. Because I can't cast cantrips.
I will position Foos once she's relayed that just over here. And from here, if this works, make yourself scarce. And we'll see what happens. Is this one the biggest?
Okay, so
Alrighty.
I'm sorry. I am a little bit lost. Can you just explain, like, again, sorry for disappearing, my computer crash. Can you just explain exactly what we're doing? So Feyre's going to cast her spell, and then
going
Xanthi.
to cast a spell, and she told you when the spell is cast, if it happens to be successful, hide. Make yourself scarce.
Got it. But be as close to the door as possible, right?
Because that way you're out of the way. They won't perceive you as easily. That is what she's scheming.
Those are some very ominous statements you're making.
So, yeah.
Riley, is the thing in the corner glowing?
Yes.
Okay, so for reference, human baby is only thing in distance can see.
Basically.
Great.
Not the only thing that you can hear, though.
Oh, I bet. There's a slight dissociative state that's happening.
Will Xanthi be able to? Wait, I don't think Xanthi has dark vision unless she's.
Nope, Xanthi is variant human, and unless you have it via draconic whatever, I don't think so.
Hold on.
We sent the people without dark vision to do this, you guys. To be fair, I don't think like any of us have dark vision except maybe Clucky.
Clucky does not have dark vision.
Yeah.
Damn,
No dark
I'm sorry.
vision. How did that happen? Normally, like, everyone has dark vision in a D&D game.
You need a Twilight Cleric to give you 300 feet of it, which is what I do in Curse of Strahd.
Oh, you're one of those. No, I'm kidding.
I am my baby. Yes, I will position myself right here. And if and when we're ready, I'll be rolling. Would you like us preemptively to
Riley
roll?
will just find a spot to hunker down and hide, and is just
Yes.
kind of plotting, essentially assuming that the glowing object in the distance is what we're here for, and will wait to see what Faeruz has in mind before trying anything.
Really quick, I am seeing that like there is a scale problem because like that book is as big as Riley. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're just gonna. It's gonna make everybody a little bigger. Yeah, there we go. Snap to the grid. Okay. So yeah, good times, great oldies.
Which one of these creatures appears to be the oldest / biggest?
Ah, I am glad that you asked. So, what you got here is a bunch of Kruthic. There
Mhm.
appear to be groups of nearly a dozen young Kruthic here,
Mhm.
here, and here, where there is, like maybe 10 of them in an area, kind of having their own little scuffles over small carcasses of whatever they're trying to eat. There is also, close to you guys, a group of about 5 adult-sized Kruthic. These ones are medium-sized, so the ones that are about your size.
Mhm.
That appear to just be sentries in this room. And then one in the main nest area and one across the way in the opposing corner. Faeruz, you've never seen, you've only heard of from any Thrycreen that you've dealt with. You've only heard of the Kruthic Hive Lords.
Mhm.
And you are now seeing 2 of them, these large-sized creatures. So, effectively, these ones bigger than a horse.
Okay. Is it one of the ones closest to us here?
They are named Hive Lord A and Hive Lord B.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
we have Faeruz attempting to cast a big spell and told everybody to make themselves scarce when it happens. Riley
Yes.
going to find a place to hide. There is a table over here made of stone, but it is knee deep in some insectoid. We'll call it a cobweb. It's cobweb-ish. If you've seen the movie Aliens, kind of think about like how the inside of their nests look.
Riley has done some pretty gross things for the purpose of self-protection, so Riley doesn't care. Riley is
Nice.
finding a hiding spot.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll that stealth check for me then.
Is this one? Let me point. Is this thing over here? Is that a jutting, like a protruding section of wall that completely goes up to the ceiling, or is it just a raised level?
It does go up to
situation?
the ceiling.
Okay.
God damn.
Alrighty. Yeah, Riley, you can place yourself wherever you want on this map.
Cool. Give me a minute.
Alrighty. And Xanthi, what is your take on the events to come?
Xanthi is going, like, how she's going to hide is that she's going to kind of like hover just above the door, like in the shadows, if there are any. And so she could pretty much, like, as soon as like they're ready to get the fuck out, she can just get that shit together and fly out like as soon as possible. And also trying to kind of clock where the baby is, or if she can clock to see where Patrick or Riley is going to be hiding, just so she can swoop in and grab the baby if need be.
Riley would and then boogie off.
But she's going to be keeping her feet off the ground because the last thing she wants is to cause footsteps that could.
Yeah, Riley's just like, I don't want to be held this entire time. I will take my chances on the floor.
How far can Xanthi's mage hand maneuver me?
60 feet,
60 feet?
I think. If I'm remembering that spell right.
Double these ranges. Because scale. Can I? I cannot adjust that, I don't think.
Mage hand is 30. Mage hand is 30 feet. Do I need to roll a stealth check, Matt?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. So that will be a natural 20 for a 22.
Absolutely.
First one was a 2. Yay for advantage!
Okay. I need to do math to position myself because of the. Oh! Sorry, I just saw something. Wait, I take that. I take everything that I said back.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No, I don't need to position myself all that much. I was like, fuck, I got a half these? Not real. Oh, okay. Okay. When we're ready. The fairies will
Alrighty.
be here, but suspended.
Give me a stealth check, but without advantage.
Okay.
You can do it, Feyre.
Even while still floating and invisible?
Yep.
That's the best stealth check I rolled so far, but even then it's only a 16.
You get floated towards this area of the map and get to the spot, and you're getting ready. You're like, all right, this is the time. It's about ready to pull the pin. And this one labeled Hive Lord A. You see it, like, it's just been kind of, kind of nudging around the young ones a little bit. Sort of like scratching at the floor in spots, trying to do, nest mother things.
Mm.
And as you kind of get to that point, it stops and raises its head. And you hear it sniff twice.
Mhm.
It is now or never, Feyruz.
Great. Can it make me an intelligence saving throw of 18?
Probably not, if I'm being honest.
We really need to make this happen, guys. Trust.
That is a 12.
Favorite cards enemies abound.
Okay.
What now? I missed it.
What did you cast?
Enemies abound, so
Oh.
if it fails a saving throw, it perceives everything it sees as an enemy. Unless it is immune to being frightened. So she's just really hoping.
Well, I mean, it failed, so it perceives everything around it as an enemy, right?
Correct. A creature automatically succeeds if it's immune to being frightened. On a failed save, the target loses ability to distinguish friend from foe regarding all creatures it can see as enemies until the spell ends.
Okay.
Concentration up to 1 minute. Every time the target takes damage, it can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on a success.
Alrighty. Just gonna give you a little toss there, so that we remember that you're concentrating on a spell. Okay. So, it's at this point. Xanthi, Riley,
Just
Feyruz.
full disclosure for you, Matt, because she's replacing one concentration spell for the other, that spell would have been her action. As a bonus action, she would have used flights to give herself a flying speed because that will drop her invisibility and levitation. She's going to use a flying speed to bring her up towards the ceiling to avoid as much detection as possible.
Alrighty. It's at this point that I would like everybody to roll initiative. And I'm going to put on some more appropriate music. Who's got what?
He's a
22.
9.
Did I hear a 9 from Feyruz?
9.
Okay. I heard a 22. That sounded like Riley.
18 for me.
18. Alrighty. So, I will say that that was your surprise round, but it's all about who is detected doing what first. So, in this moment, Riley is up first in initiative. Is there anything that you would like to do in this moment?
It might be a little stupid, but Riley is going to go with her gut because she knows what the mission is. And we'll be sticking to the walls as far from creatures as possible, but also knows might have to go through or past creatures to get to the item.
Mhm.
So Riley will be ever so carefully and quietly moving along the walls and through, almost like laser mazing it through the webs to avoid actually disturbing them at all, but using them as cover visually, and is just gonna be creeping along the wall, making it towards the glowing object in the distance.
So I'm glad that you brought up that you were going through the webs, because technically they count as difficult terrain anyway. And that being said, so long as you don't move more than half your speed, you do not break your stealth. So Riley, I believe, has a movement speed of 40? Yes. So long as you don't move more than 10 feet, which on this map is going to read 20 feet with the measuring tool, you stay stealthed. It's going to read that on here because everything's going to be doubled in size.
No. Riley's speed is 40, so half would
yes,
be
but
20.
difficult terrain means that
This is
every
fair.
foot of movement costs you 2.
Got it.
So if you move your full speed, you're going to pop out of stealth.
Am I able to add more movement to that if I do like bonus action dash, or will that still break the Stealth.
I'm gonna call it that it won't, so you can move a total of 30 feet.
30 feet.
If
Which
you
will be
devote your
60
entire
on
turn.
here.
Yeah.
That will be my whole turn because Riley doesn't have much Riley can do.
Alrighty. So while you're positioning yourself then, I will get started on Xanthi's turn.
Okay. So Fairuz said to stay hidden. So that is what Xanthi is going to do. She wants, like, she's obviously, like, part of her wants to, like, fight, but she also knows that starting a fight could cause some, like, serious fucking alarm bells to go off. So she is going to just pretty much, if she's able to follow the baby, she'll kind of like stay hovering above in the shadows and just try to kind of like follow Petrichor to make sure that they're okay. Well, also
You're gonna have to make a perception check, homie.
okay.
Because Petrichor pointed to where they were going to hide, but from there, once hidden, there's no way you're seeing them without a perception check.
Okay. Well, that is a. Yeah,
Does
that's
it beat a 29?
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nope. So, Xanthi again will just be trying her best to stay out of sight, but she will ready an action for summon Draconic Spirit.
Okay.
If she needs to make another kind of distraction.
Jesus.
Sorry. Yeah, it's storming like crazy over here right now. I love it. But she will ready summon Draconic Spirit if things go south and they don't start fighting each other, and if someone's trying to attack Fairuz or Riley, she would do summon Draconic Spirit to make another distraction while also trying to stay hidden.
Alrighty. Okay, gotcha. Alrighty. So that is Xanthi. Young Swarm 2, at this point, doesn't know anything's going on. We'll give it the honest check, though, to see if it notices anyone. Young Kruthic. Does not. So, Adult Swarm, pretty much same deal. Except they're going to be rolled lower. They're doing great as sentries in this area. That one notices a lot. Notices actually everybody except for the baby. So now that things are alerted, because this Hive Lord is going to look, and the closest target to it is Fairuz, and it's going to let out a loud roar.
That Hive Lord that I spelled?
No, Hive Lord B.
Okay.
Yep. It's going to roar loudly in your direction. So now everybody knows that at least Fairuz is here. And now it gets its turn, and we get to try some fun stuff. Alrighty. Calm down, man. Calm down. It's fine. It's okay. Alright. Getting hyped up. So these things can move 40 feet. So you are how high up?
30 feet up.
It's a 30-foot ceiling. These things are 15 feet.
However high I was with the mage hands,
So,
and then trying to get up.
as a alternative, this thing will move. Oops. It was right here. 5, 10, 15. Nope, that is 10 feet technically. Up the walls, 30 feet. So this one is climbing on the ceiling, trying to get over to you. What is the distance on these? Oh, it's 15. Okay. So it will dash. So now it gets to move. That's technically 20 feet. Yeah. It runs right up to you. And that will unfortunately be its turn. But Faeruz, now it's your turn.
Would it get an opportunity attack if I moved away from it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, since it's right there, Fairies is going to... She is going to take the... Oh, actually. How is she going to play this? She is just going to, since this is within melee of her, she's going to use Shocking Grasp.
Alrighty. Roll to hit.
I don't think... No, I don't think an 11 hits, unfortunately.
An 11 does not hit.
It's too icky.
Will that be all for Faeruz?
Bonus action. Let's see. Is this a concentration? This is a thing with walls. They have a lot of concentration spells. Oh, it's not a concentration. Amazing. Bonus action
Enemies
sanctuary
abound?
self.
Oh, enemies abound is concentration. Okay.
And with abound is concentration. That's why I'm no longer invisible.
Right.
I'm going to cast sanctuary on myself to ward myself. So until the spell ends, 1 minute, any creature who attacks a warded creature, me, with an attack or a harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. This does not affect the area of attack spells.
However, if you make an attack on anything else, the ward disappears. That is the caveat.
That's fine. That's what I got the big guy for right now.
I'm just going to put a little marker on you that says blessed, but we're going to remember that that means sanctuary. So that will be all for Faeruz, right? Or are you moving?
No, I will hold my position to not invoke an opportunity attack.
Alrighty. That's going to bring us to swarm number 1, which has been told of these two individuals. Oh, well, it cannot perceive Riley. So
Were they able to see me?
what was your stealth check at the beginning?
18.
18.
18. They
Not
can
18.
roll for
that
it.
was your. That
Oh
was
no, that
your...
was my initiative.
I don't remember. You didn't put it in chat.
Oh fuck. I think it might have been a 22.
Okay. If they nat 20, they can, or no, if they get an 18 or higher. Well, actually, they were told that you're there because.
Homie got lit up.
Yeah. But that one did not see Riley. And even still, the closer target for something like these is Faeruz. So.
Upon them finding out, finding Faeruz and Zandy being noticed, would that activate my held action to summon Draconic Spirit?
I'll leave that up to you.
I will say...
I will also point out that the more creatures we bring on board for us is also just more creatures that the Kruthic will still perceive as hostile.
Okay. So I'll hold off on that for right now.
Okay.
BRB.
Alrighty. Sorry, just adjusting a couple settings here so that things will display right, because as you can see, Faeruz, you are now enveloped by a swarm of young Kruthic. And now it is Hive Lord A's turn. And it is going to go after the young swarm 3. Oh boy. Okay. Double checking modifiers. All right. All right. Okay. That's cocked. That'll hit. That will also hit. 2 hits. So it's 4. So I need you. So that is 11 plus 10, 21 points of damage. And this is from swarm number 3. So you see it literally rip into 2 of the young members of its swarm. But yeah, good times, great oldies. Now at least they know that Mama's not friendly, so they're going to try to hit Mama back. They don't do much damage, but let's see if they can hit, because they could potentially provoke this thing into a saving throw where it can wake up. Alrighty. Okay. Rolling to hit. They technically have pack tactics. So, yeah, that's going to be not enough, and they only get 1 attack. So, back to the top. Riley, it is now your turn.
Riley is continuing the same thing, half movement, slow as possible to remain a stealth, still moving towards target area. Which
Okay.
I double whatever my movement is here, right? Because it doesn't display correctly?
Yeah. Alrighty. Anything else once you get to that point?
Nope, because that is my movement, bonus action, and action.
Alrighty. Xanthi, I will, it is your turn. I will just let you know that close to the ceiling, you do see one of these hive lords and a swarm of perhaps 10 of these cat-sized Kruthic crawling on the ceiling to get at Faeruz.
Okay, so are the babies like all grouped together?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's time to kill some younglings. Okay. Xanthi is going to dipping into the Star Wars references here. Xanthi is going to cast Draconic Transformation.
Okay.
And that will be her bonus action. And as her, I believe as an action, she's able for when she first transforms, she can use her breath weapon, correct?
As part of the same bonus action to transform, and every bonus action afterwards until the spell is gone.
Oh, smash. I love that. All right, but so, like, even though Xanthi still has her wings, you can kind of see them kind of claw out a little bit. She's horns coming from her head, and her scales just kind of seem a bit more intense, and her eyes are kind of blackened around, or like a scarlet black around her heterochromic eyes. She bares her teeth, and she is going to fly like right underneath the where the little babies are, and she is going to use her breath weapon.
Okay. I will need everybody in that area to make, I believe it's a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, a dexterity saving throw of 20.
Okay. Faeruz included.
Quick spell, or a safety spell.
Careful spell?
Yes, careful spell.
Which just means that you don't have to make the save. You automatically succeed.
Yes.
Which means even if it's a you take half damage, you take half damage for succeeding.
Alrighty, so this is a dex save. Let's start with the Hive Lord, because that's going to be the tough part here. Hive Lord fails. The Swarm. What is your DC?
20.
That is a 24. So, They
silvery
succeed. They will
bar?
take, if you'd like to. That is a 15. So, both fail. Go ahead, roll all of your damages.
All right, hold on. I gotta hit my spell slot for silvery barbs. All right, and that I believe for my breath weapon. Sorry, give me a moment. I gotta pull the
You're fine.
spell back up.
I preemptively rolled for my concentration on the spell. That was a nat 20 for 25 to maintain concentration.
Okay.
So that is 6d8 of force damage. And you kind of hear Xanthi just go, sorry!
It's it's 4d8s. Okay, that's what you said.
Yeah, I'm finding my d8. Give me a moment. No, it's 68, not 48.
Oh, 6d8s. Okay.
4, 5, 6. Okay. Dice ASMR. All right. Oh, fuck. That's going to be 8, 8, 6, 4, 6, 2.
34 points of damage halved
Force
for
damage.
Feyruz. So 34, that's the number that I need. Okay, and then that is on swarm number 1, 34.
17 is halved. Okay.
And again, you
17
just kind
points.
of hear Xanthi apologize before she like lets out this fucking wave of shit. She knows Feyruz is a tough cookie.
Fairuz is also concentrating on that spell.
Yeah. 3 of the younglings, as you so aptly put it, ended up getting a little bit fried from that. You also did fly underneath them to do this, so I'm going to kind of put you right there-ish. That is your bonus action. Is there anything else that Xanthi would like to do?
Which ones are? Will I be able to? Can I do a cantrip for my action?
Yes, you may.
I would like to cast. Let's do. Which one's still alive?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Well, the swarm is still active, and then the Hive Lord up there is also still alive.
I would like to cast lightning lure on. Are they 15 feet away?
You went just underneath him to get them all in a cone, so
Okay. So
they
yeah,
are
I'm
as close as you need them to be.
gonna do lightning lure as my action, and I'll have to make a strength saving throw of 20, and I'm gonna try to just kind of yoink him off of the ceiling to drop him to the ground.
The Hive Lord?
Yes.
Okay. Strength saving throw, you said.
Of 20. Yeah.
Of 20.
Fucking
Strength
insane.
is +4. That is, in fact, a 20 total.
Damn it, meets it beats it. So, yeah, that misses. That will be
That's
the
all
end.
right.
That will be the end of my turn.
Alrighty. I thought you were going to say that would be the end of Xanthi, and I was like, not yet.
God damn it, no. I'm not bringing that shit into the universe. Shush.
Listen, we have been there once and we stopped it then. We will stop it this time.
Alrighty. Young Swarm number 2, also trying to figure out what's wrong with Mama. Rolling to hit. That is enough to hit. They're actually going to do some damage, which I got to double check what their damage is. They're down here. Got it. Oh, wait, actually, that's a full swarm, so. Alrighty. You watch this group actually engulf the Hive Lord that you have there and start biting and clawing into its carapace. And that was an intelligence save that it needs to make.
Yes, DC is 18.
DC is 18. Oh, that is this one up here. Each side takes damage. They can repeat the saving throw. Alrighty. Mama, don't fail me now. 16. Well, we're getting closer. All right, we'll try again later. So, cool. Adult Swarm, now that you are in the fray. This is... Oh, so if you are 15 feet below... below Feyruz, that means this swarm... 80 feet right there. Just below you, you are in melee, Xanthi, of the adult swarm. So, that is a 25 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
Alrighty. So that is going to be, this is, oh, actually, I take it back. That is a 20 to hit.
That still hits. My
Okay, just double checking.
15.
Alright. So that is 20 points of piercing damage, and I will need you to make a DC 10 concentration check for Draconic Transformation.
And I get advantage on that.
Yes, you do.
Because of my robe of the Archmagi. First one was a 2, second is a 19.
Alrighty.
Plus,
Second attack,
yay.
plus 5. So that is a 21. Alrighty. So that is going to be 19 points of piercing damage. So you will need to make that concentration check again.
Okay. Oh god, this is not looking good. First is a 15, second is a 6, so 15 plus, is it concentration?
Yeah, it's a Constitution saving throw, and you just had to beat a 10. So I think you made it.
Yeah, it's a 22.
Hive Lord B in this point. Ooh, what is that distance? We're gonna go. I need this. I don't want to grab this. So technically half of that. No, you're gonna miss. But still gonna try it. Feyruz, I'm gonna need you to make a. No, he doesn't want to do that. Shit.
It's
Fine.
just
Its children are in the way, so it doesn't want to do that. But now that its children are there, the Hive Lord has pack tactics. So, Feyruz. Oh, wisdom saving throw.
wisdom saving throw. Let me double check that for Sanctuary. I believe so, yes. Wisdom
Yes.
saving throw.
DC is 18. Does not succeed. So it has to choose a new target. So,
Or its attack just disperses and fails.
Yeah.
well, it can move and attack Xanthi. Actually, that's what it'll do. It doesn't have to move. It's just going to do it this way and attack Xanthi. Since you guys haven't seen this before, so Feyruz, this thing right next to you goes to swing at you, and for some reason just kind of like hisses, turns towards Xanthi, who is kind of hovering. This thing kind of on the ceiling above, looks in that direction, raises its front pincers and kind of flings them both in Xanthi's direction.
If I may, the way Feyruz's sanctuary looks like is that it's as if there's this shifting sphere of sand that's come up around her and is now whirling around. The wisdom saving throw is sort of to see whether their attacks can pierce through that and succeed.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So now the bad news. For the spike attack, since it had advantage, Xanthi, that is a natural 20.
Silvery barbs.
Alrighty, there's my girl. So we get to roll one more die and see. So it's this one here that is still going to hit. That's a total of 24 to hit.
At least it's not a nat 20.
At least it's not a nat 20, so that's going to be
Oh god.
8 points of piercing damage as one of these spikes just launches directly for your midsection. Second attack.
What?
Yeah, it can do 2 of them in 1 turn. So that
It's not
is a +6 to hit, total of 23.
It's
Alrighty, second spike in your direction. That's going to be a total of 7 points of piercing damage. Alrighty. That ends the Hive Lord Bee's turn. Feyruz, it is now your turn.
May I ask, the combined space that the Hive Lord and the swarms occupy, how big is it, like feet-wise?
So
Yeah, I suppose.
the adult swarm is considered in this point a huge size creature, so 15 by 15. The baby swarm is a large size, so it is 10 by 10. The Hive Lord is also large size, also 10 by 10.
How many of them would fit in the 20-foot space? Would the Hive Lord and the smaller swarm fit?
You're talking about a 20-foot cube?
Just 20-foot cube tall. I think it no. Let me double check. Just up to 20 foot on a side going up.
But a cube, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Yep, that is a 20-foot cube. Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, that is currently a 20-foot cube centered on you. So that would encompass the Hive Lord, the adult swarm, and that young swarm as well as Xanthi. And yourself.
Just for pure clarification, I'm intending to cast Force Cage. However, in the shape of a cage, it says, which is kind of confusing, a prison in the shape of a cage can be up to 20 foot on a side.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
a side. So does that mean 20 foot still around?
Yeah, so 20 foot. It's a 20-foot perimeter. Okay. It's a square. And then vertically, it's also 20 feet.
Oh, amazing. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah. So
would we
you
allow
could... Say that again?
Xanthi, would she be able to communicate? Well, she's going to shout at you. Would you be able, since you went before me, to take your movement to move? Just get away.
I don't think she'd be able to move without giving an opportunity attack.
It's unfortunately also not her turn anymore.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep the Force Cage off to the side. That's a mystery mouse Cthulhu that will help us later. So what would we like to do this time?
Favors is, if you would allow, going to hold. I can still dash with the sanctuary on me. She's going to hold her action to dash until before her next turn, because what she's trying to do is maneuver her way out of the space where she would like to cast a spell.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. So you're like looking for a spot where they're going to be like trying to attack you, and then get yourself out of dodge so that you can, on your turn, cast a spell.
Yes.
Alrighty, understood. So, Young Swarm 1, that is the one that is currently surrounding Feyruz. It's not going to make this wisdom save, I know it, but we're going to try. Oh, technically it has a +10 now that I think about it. So, oh no, actually, this is Young Swarm number 1, so it has a +7. That is a 19 on the die. So, the Young Swarm can attack Feyruz.
Yes, they can.
Alrighty. Attack tactics for advantage. That is +7. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Just double checking. So that is going to be... Oh, so this is still going to be a lot of damage. Ooh.
My spell is still going to stay up. for 16 plus 5 on my concentration spell.
That is 22 points of piercing damage, so you will have to make a concentration check.
Yes,
DC is
21.
11.
Spell was, roll was 21.
Hell yeah.
16.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I heard myself, I'm like, they're gonna hit me. What was the damage again? Sorry, you said 20?
22 points of piercing damage. So then Hive Lord A going to, well, it's going to turn on Young Swarm number 2. It doesn't have any allies around. Double check. What's this here? +7, so that actually doesn't hit. Second attack. That I think does. That does hit. So 1d10 plus 4. Minimum damage, so 5 points of damage to this, which is Young Swarm number 2. Okay. Moving right along now. Young Swarm number 3 also going to try to attack its mother. That is going to hit. This is number 3, so 24 plus 2, so 26 on this one. Alrighty. Let's try that intelligence save again. Fails. Okay. Alrighty. So, back to the top. Riley.
I'm weighing my options, and I have been since my last round, which is just use my full movement and bonus action to make it there, so I have my action to try to pry this thing out, or take the extra turn to be able to make it there this turn still stealthed and risk the extra round.
The only thing that I can really say, number 1, there's this melee here of Kruthik, the younglings attacking a Hive Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you're seeing some heavy hits go towards Faeruz and Xanthi. So how much time do you think you have?
Xanthi's looking rough.
I don't think I have very much time. I think... Boy. Okay, if I just... Instead of Ginger... Actually, because that's only 20 feet, right?
From where you are to the orb?
Yeah, because it marks as 40, which means it's only 20, right?
Well, depending on which square you're going from, yeah. So 20 feet.
Okay. Would that take me out of stealth, though?
20 feet
across
here would cost you 40 feet of movement.
My movement and bonus action to get there for the 20, but would trying to pry this thing out. I don't know. Is it like set into the wall?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Fuck
There's
it.
not like a lock and key, but there is a mechanism keeping it secure.
Sure. We're gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna end up going out of stealth regardless, so might as well do it now while I have maybe something that's keeping things busy. I'm just not stealthily going to use my movement, which would be halved to the 20 for difficult terrain, to make it there.
Okay.
And use my action to try to pry this thing out of the wall.
Alrighty. Again, it's basically like when you get up there, you could see that there is like some sort of mechanism in place, but easy enough to gather. This is how you disengage it. And you grab this orb.
will slip it into the bag of holding,
Good place for it.
and then we'll use my bonus action to move back to where I was.
Okay.
And that is my turn, and we are no longer stealthed.
You are no longer stealthed. So we will we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alrighty. Xanthi, you are up next.
All right. So if I use my action to dash, I will be able to avoid opportunity attacks, correct?
No, you would have to use your action to disengage.
Okay, can I do that?
Yes.
Okay, well, first as my bonus action, so the kind of like how it's going to go down is so bonus action, Xanthi is going to use her Dragon's Breath on the big dude below her, to avoid hitting Faeruz, who is above her. So again, they will need to make a dex check of 20. And whoever is in like that cone space, and as she is doing that, she's going to kind of use it as like a smoke screen almost, as she uses her action to disengage, and she will use her full flying speed to get as far, which is 30 feet, to get as far away from the monsters as possible, probably over to the right of the screen. And upon seeing Petrichor coming into view, she is immediately going to turn to them and just be like, "Hey, over here!" And just pretty much trying to make sure that they keep their attention off the child, and keep them distracted while also moving away from the fight as well to try to hopefully avoid being attacked. So We'll be 30 feet to the right now.
So really quick, roll your 6d8 so that I know how much I am having for the adult Kruthix.
Damn it! Okay. Right. Okay, so that is going to be a 6, an 8, a 4, a 3, a 4, and another 4.
29 halved is going to be 14 points of damage to the adult swarm. Got it. Cool. And then you can place yourself where
I can't pull it out
right.
there. Someone's gonna have to move me.
Gotcha, homie. Alrighty. You said like 30 feet to the
30
right?
feet to the right, yeah, on the opposite side of the room where
So
Riley
it's
is
60
on.
feet here. Wow. Cool. Disengaging as an action, avoiding all attacks of opportunity. Beautiful. Cool.
And that will be the end of my turn.
Yes, it will. Young Swarm number 2. I'm going to... Riley, call heads or tails.
Tails.
Alrighty. Young Swarm number 2 decides to keep attacking the Hive Lord. Even though it can see you. That is not enough for it to hit, so no worries there. So it is about to be the adult swarm's turn. I'm going to ask, at this point, does Faeruz want to use their held action to move, or are you going to wait and see what this adult swarm does?
I will wait to see what it does. If it is attacking me, it is still just saving.
Right. It will attempt to attack you. And a 13's not going to cut it. So, it will then... Let me check some ranges here. From the edge here. Just outside. From the edge here. Too far as well. So, well... Riley, call heads or tails.
I hate this game. Heads.
You're right again. So, Xanthi. This attack is at disadvantage because it doesn't have attack tactics right now. So that is an 8 to hit. You avoid a volley of spikes headed in your direction.
Oh my god.
Excellent job there. Hive Lord B is going to be the one. Well, actually, with that, now that it's decided, because it just redirected its attack, now it's going to head in the direction of Xanthi.
Yes, come to mommy.
Yeah, it doesn't need to use its full movement to get over there, so it will.
And
Hive
she is
Lord,
hovering probably about 30 feet above the ground still.
yeah, they're just underneath you, basically. Even though it's a large swarm, they don't extend upward, so yeah. So, Faeruz, the Hive Lord. I am so tempted to try to do a thing. You're actually lucking out so hard that you are in a swarm. That I screwed up and put you in a swarm of these things. So concentration, or sorry, wisdom save to try to see if it can attack you still. That is a dirty 20. Yay! Alrighty. Here we go. Where are you? Kruthic Hive Lord. There we are. Multi-attack. First attack. That's going to be not a lot. That's only a 15 to hit.
Meets it, beats it.
Meets it, beats it.
I don't think I have shield. Yeah, that hits.
It's alrighty. So 6 plus 4, 10 points of piercing damage. Second attack. That would trigger a concentration check. DC 10. And then this one is also going to hit
11.
Alrighty. That is 8 points of piercing damage, would trigger a second concentration check, also DC 10.
16. Oh, sorry, 15.
Alrighty, beautiful. So that's that. Faeruz, it is now your turn.
Now I will get out of the way with my held action, if possible. I would like.
If you want to
use
do it
my-
like right at the end of the Hive Lord's turn, I will allow this.
Yes, I will do so.
But let's not
Dash
everybody
will
make a
still-
habit of it.
Yeah. Dash will still invoke opportunity attacks, but they will still
Yes.
need to make that wisdom saving throw to attack to begin with.
Alrighty,
And it is double.
I will start with the swarm. So this is swarm number 1 plus 7, so 15 is not going to cut the mustard. Hive Lord, that is another dirty 20, so it will get one more attack on you.
Mhm.
That is, I think that one's going to miss. That's a 12.
Yep, does not hit.
Okay. So now it is officially your turn.
Now, officially, the force cage will spring up around these two swarms to encompass them in what appears to be several bars of this crystalline material that break up through the floor to form a cage surrounding them. There is no save against this unless they're trying to use teleportation or interplanetary stuff to get out of it.
Correct. You should be able to manipulate that unless you think that that is a good spot. Otherwise, you can move it around a little bit. But yeah, they are in there. They can still attack through the bars, correct?
Let me double check for you. Force cage, an immovable, invisible cube-shaped prison composed of magical force, suppressing communication. When you cast a spell, any creature that is completely inside the cage's area is trapped. Creatures that are only partially within the area goes through lashes for destroyed from the center. A creature inside the cage can't leave it by non-magical means. If the creature tries to teleportation, it actually doesn't seem to say.
All right.
Normally,
it's not
how they're
explicitly said.
described is that it's just this wall of immovable, like, force.
Well, it's a
That-
10-foot wall or a 20-foot cage.
Mm.
So you can get a wider area if you wanted to do a cage, and I think that the downside to it is that you can actually make attacks through it. So
But
I will
if it's
double check that.
yeah, because it doesn't explicitly say, because it is described as magical force. The only reason I went for the cage was because at the time the Hive Lord was in it, so I wasn't sure if they would fit within the box. Maybe the
Right.
swarm fits within the box. If they do, the bars will sort of widen to close the gaps and form a box instead.
It has half-inch diameter bars spaced a half-inch apart.
If it's a
Oh, that's where it
then
comes in. The box
Yeah.
says that it's a solid barrier which prevents any
Yeah.
matter from passing through it and blocking any spells cast into or from the area. So that's what it is. So that is implying that spells or anything that is that small can pass through the bars. I don't think that's going to qualify for their spike attack, but yeah. So well done. Excellente.
right.
Will that be all for Feyru's turn?
That was my action and my bonus. Do I want to take a bonus action? Bearers, can she do something? No. Let me just check the measurements real quick.
So that's technically 25 feet away.
I will just use my movement, flying, just to move a little bit more closer towards the door.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Alrighty, at that point, I will have us take a real quick break. Everybody go get yourself some Wawa, get yourself some other beverages, little snacky poo, use the potty if you need to, and we will return in 9 minutes. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for sticking around and seeing all the things that are going on with this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful party that we have going on. We have more things going on here as well. Tuesdays, we're supposed to do this in the beginning, but we're all terrible at it. Tuesdays, we have Edge of the Empire, our Star Wars campaign. Starting my time, roughly 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Come see what happens as we've just gotten to the Sith planet of Korriban. Wednesdays, we have Valley of the Endless War featuring Dia and I believe sometimes Taylor. That Wednesday game featuring or DM'd by Simite. Tune in for that one as well. And pay attention to the social medias, as after this session, we are going to be scheduling the next episode of the Dimensional Dial of Dr. Diago, which, depending on how things go here, might be the entire group getting back together and might be 3 people recovering 3 bodies. That being said, let's get right back into things. We are picking up with, first of all, music. Have to have the music, have to properly terrify you guys. Feel like I have to adjust the volume a little bit because StreamYard. Cool. Alrighty. After Favors' turn, Young Swarm number 1 in this force cage. Did the music just leave me? There we go. It can't do nothing to a force cage. The young ones do not have their spikes yet, so they don't have ranged attacks. So they're just stuck in there. Hive Lord A, however, still up and about. Given what is going on, it's not going to try to attack the baby, but it is going to try to attack Young Swarm number 3, because that's the one that's been attacking. 6. Rolling like garbage. Can't even hit its own babies. Natural 1. This is hysterical. Swarm number 3. Technically, if we're being honest. No, this one is actively being attacked, so it's going to stay here. Plus 8. That is going to hit absolutely. So the Hive Lord is going to take, that is 24, 28 points of damage. And that is the Young Swarm's turn. Riley, it appears that these carnivorous creatures are not interested in a tiny little meal such as yourself.
That is what I was banking on. And then I got what I came for. No need to be stealthy no longer. Movement, bonus action, action, dash, full, which would be 120 normally, so 60 feet.
Alrighty. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
is just fucking... I can technically go further than that.
I don't know if it'll let you drag your character off the board, but if you'd like to.
Hold on. That would be 45? That's half of 90? Yeah. Hold, please. Means I'd have 15 feet, so I can go right there.
I realize that I have to do a thing. And since it's your turn, I'm going to make you do it, KJ.
Oh, good lord.
Roll a D100 for me.
Oh, boy. If this goes wrong, I'm blaming Ruby because it's my Duke set. Such a kind thing to do to the friend that made me dice without me asking. 65.
Alrighty. Don't mind me, just making a note. Alrighty. Can't lose that now. Cool. Will that be all for your turn?
That's my action economy. That's it.
Okay. Xanthi.
All right, so I still have this motherfucker below me.
Yes, you do.
All right, so now I know we talked about how if we administer a potion to ourselves, it can be a bonus action, but can I use my action to give myself?
So, action means you don't have to roll for it. Bonus action means you're rolling for it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that makes it even better. Bonus action, Dragon's Breath. Make that dex save of 20.
It fails.
Fuck yeah. Hot Wheels beat that bitch. Dice ASMR. Okie dokie. That is a 7, an 8, a 4, a 6, and a 2.
27 points of damage.
And as my action, I am going to drink my potion of healing that I have on me, which, and using it as an action, it means I get the full roll. So give me a minute. Where is my shit?
What kind of potion is it?
It's just a potion of, like, a basic potion of healing.
Then
I get
you would heal
4
10
plus
HP.
2.
10 HP.
Oh, 10 HP?
Basic is 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the maximum roll is 10.
Yeah, 10. So yeah. It'll give me a little bit of HP back.
Yep, it does. Xanthi, what I will say is that with this breath weapon that you do, you actually do watch one of the 5 adult Kruthic actually is no longer moving.
Yay! Now, with me being 30 feet above this thing, will it provide an opportunity attack if I use my distance to go fly further up?
You can't fly further up because the room is only 30 feet high, but you are not in melee range with this swarm.
Okay, so I am going to just use my full 30 feet of movement to keep bringing it over to the other side of the room away from the baby.
The baby's not in the room.
The baby's not in the room?
The baby's not in the room.
I got the fuck out of Dodge. You literally would have been able to watch me because I was no longer stealthing. Just book it across the room, out the door.
Okay, I'm still gonna use my full 30 feet of flying speed to get as far away from this thing as possible. Probably more towards where Faeruz is to kind of try to deal with the things, the situation.
So you only use 20 feet to get, or actually, yeah, we'll call it 20 feet to get next to Faeruz.
Okay. I think that's all I'm going to do on my turn. Got some health back. Gotta fire breath a few of those fuckers.
Alrighty. Young Swarm number 2 attacking its mama. It's going to succeed. And that one has not lost any members of its swarm yet, so Jesus. Hey, Faeruz, you are not concentrating anymore because it is no longer alive.
Nice.
They killed their mummy.
They sure did.
I hope you're happy with yourself. But they do still have their movement now, so they will use that. get to go up to 80. Right there. Cool. The adult swarm can also move 20 feet, gets them under the pair of you. They can only attack one of you, though. They were just attacking Xanthi. They're going to keep that up. So, Xanthi. +4. Wow. Terrible rolls. That is a 13 to hit.
That misses, motherfucker!
Alrighty. Actually, I've been rolling to hit for that. Well, been doing it for this one. I don't know why. Should have been a dex save. That's me.
Do you need me to make a dex save?
Yeah, I need you to make a dex save. I'm gonna need to do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, that will be a 17 plus 2 for a 19.
6 plus 12. So you do pass. That is 19 points of damage. That will be reduced to 9. 9 points of piercing damage. And I will need you to make a concentration check.
I don't like this, Matt.
Too bad.
First
It's
is
too
a-
damn bad.
First is a 19, second is a natural 20.
Alrighty.
Or a 20, you said dex save?
Yeah, the DC was 10, so you're all good.
With a natural 20, do I... Oh, wait, no, that was for concentration. Never mind.
Alrighty.
For a 27.
Bear with me. I need to check a range of a thing. So that is about correct. Let's rotate this here. Alrighty. I will need Faeruz and Xanthi both to make a dexterity saves. Double checking. Haven't had to do this yet. I'm excited, guys.
Nice.
Oh, Lord, there you are. My page Reese. Yes, it is a dexterity saving throw.
16?
16 passes.
Oh my god. My dex is not good.
Does a 12 pass?
No, it does not.
Mm.
It's 12, 19, 22. That is 22 points of acid damage for Xanthi and 11 for Faeruz. And I will need both of you to make concentration checks on your... or no, Faeruz is not concentrating anymore. So, Xanthi, I will need you to make a concentration check for your Draconic Transformation. DC is 11.
Okay.
What is it?
Concentration, get advantage. That's a nat 20 again.
Hell yeah.
Yay. Nice.
And Xanthi is looking like she's on death's doorstep right now.
Faeruz, it is your turn.
Can the remaining Hive Lord please make me an intelligence saving throw of 18?
Are you going to try to turn this into a cage match?
No.
Oh, no. That's cocked. Yeah, so that's going to be a hot 12.
Amazing. You see Faeruz drop her sanctuary in favor of casting synaptic static. So what you
Oh,
see
shit.
is that swirling force of sand drifts, like almost like breaks apart as if it had been hit by a thunderclap, and instead become these crystalline shards that go towards the Hive Lord, flying towards it and almost through it as it pierces for what would be 29 points of psychic damage on a failed save.
Okay.
And it is minusing a d6 from all attack rolls and ability checks, as well as constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. It can make
Alright,
an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns to break it.
got it. So we're just gonna call this thing
Buffed. Debuffed.
Hexed.
Yeah.
Hexed. Beautiful. Will that be all?
Yes, I believe so. Actually, let me double check something. Bonus action! Because I'm no longer casting concentration. I'm going to cast actual hex on the young swarm too. So I can do some extra damage to it.
Alrighty. That takes no thing, so fine. I guess that I'll bring out a hunter's mark.
Thank you.
There we go. And now it is double debuffed. There we go. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Alrighty.
Oh, that is sorry, are those marks on the right place? Can I place them?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
The debuff was on the young swarm, not on any of the caged people.
Oh, this
Because
one over
they're
here.
incapacitated, yeah. They're incapacitated in Feyre's eye, so she's just targeting everything else outside of it.
Fair. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Young Swarm one
So
on the
the
one.
adult swarm is the one that's synaptic static and took damage. The young swarm is the one that is hexed.
Got it. So this one, this is actually hexed, so this is gonna go over here. Cool. And then this can. There we go. Cool. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Got it. Young Swarm number 1 can't do a damn thing, so it's not going to. Hive Lord A is deceased. Swarm number 3. Okay. So that is technically their movement. They are going to dash. So that is technically 15 feet. Alrighty. I'm committing sacrilege. We're attacking the baby. No, we're not. No, we're not. I take it back. They had to use its action to dash. Next turn, maybe. Riley, it is your turn.
Fuck him up, baby. You got this.
Okay. Question, because we've never actually mentioned this for what it would take action economy wise during combat to
Yes.
switch.
I would say that's probably an action.
Okay. Then I'm not gonna do it right now. Instead, I will use one of the 2 spells Riley has available to her.
Okay.
It might not. We'll see. To cast. Where's spell? What level is this originally? Because I have to do these at original level, don't I?
Yes.
You know what? It'll still be good. To cast Flame Strike.
Ooh.
Which is a vertical column of divine fire roars down from the heavens in a location you specify. Each creature in a 10-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on the point within range must make a dexterity saving throw. So it'll be centered behind the swarm, but close enough that it'll clip right before where Riley's standing.
So.
But to catch as much as possible. So dexterity saving throw. DC
Alrighty.
17.
8. That's cocked.
How many d6s do I have?
That is a 12.
Fail. 3. So it is 4d6 fire damage and 4d6 radiant damage.
Okay.
So 12 points of fire damage and 12 points of radiant damage.
So a total of 24.
Yes. And it is just an instantaneous boom.
3 more from this swarm have fallen. There are now 5 young Kruthic left around you.
Great. Bonus actions. What can I do?
It's a good question.
That would be action. I'm not a monk.
I will say this, in about 10 feet, you're going to be at the very center of where the Arcanolift should rest, but it is 2 floors above you.
I don't have many options for bonus actions. What is this? What are you?
This is not a game of who the fuck are
That. Do I have that feat? Is it a feat that I have? It is a feat that I have. I will bonus action make an attack.
Okay.
Wait, maybe. Hold on. What does this dagger do again?
Oh. The dimensional dagger of Dr. Diago.
Yup.
If you crit with it, you cast banishment.
Cast banishment. Yep. Let's see what we get, baby.
Did you crit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. So for the
DC
record,
18.
DC 18, that is a wisdom save for this swarm of Kruthic. That's a natural 1.
Fantastic. So
what
they
I will
still
say-
take damage from
Yes.
the attack.
So give me the damage, and because this is the nature of swarms, this is going to be a thing. Go ahead and give me all the damage that you're doing.
I did not have advantage on it, so there's no
Nope.
sneak attack involved. It's just straight
No
damage.
Sneaky.
So it's only 6 points of piercing damage.
6 points.
But
of
it's
piercing
kind of,
damage.
it's this really fun action economy where the dagger is pulled and starts glowing a little bit, and Riley just holds it up and like pulls it down, and that's when the flash of light and radiant energy happens, and then a thrust towards the one closest to her, which kind of makes the dagger glow even brighter, and it crackles with energy as banishment goes off.
Absolutely. One member of the swarm disappears, which is a good thing, and I'll tell you why, because the rules that I'm using for swarms, their bonuses to all the things that they do is based off of how many members of the swarm there are. So rather than doing damage and killing one, you removed it from the board entirely. So long as you, quote unquote, maintain concentration on banishment. Also, do me a favor, roll a d12.
The dice that I never roll ever?
Mm-hmm.
6.
Okay. Noted.
Wait, hold on. Let me do some. I know this has happened before.
This has happened before. But
This
is that
is
all
the
for your
previous-
turn?
Yes, that's well. Yes, because I'm not gonna move.
Alrighty. Xanthi, it is your turn. You just heard an explosion from behind you through the door
You also
where the
saw
baby went.
like a pillar of holy light and fire from the direction of the baby.
I just want to give Taylor anxiety. Just let me have this, okay?
Like, Xanthi is legit down to 2 hit points. So, yeah. Fuck. She needs to finish this, and she needs to finish this fucking fast.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. You guys want to know what the 6th dimension is?
What?
The dino dimension?
They fit in perfectly.
If that thing stays there, you are going to really fuck with the ecology of that island.
It's fine.
Okay. Oof. All right. So, what I am going to do. So, god damn it. So, Fairuz is next to me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Xanthi is just pretty much at this point, she's like, we need to get the fuck out of here. We need to head towards the baby, but we need to be able to like make sure that like they can't really get any opportunity attacks. So what she is going to do is she is going to cast Wall of Lightning.
Alrighty.
And she's going to kind of cast it in like kind of like a, if she can, like in a half circle around Fairuz and herself, and pretty much block off all of the other monsters in the room from us, so they can't take any opportunity attacks on us if we try to leave.
Okay, so the thing about that, you guys aren't going to be getting any opportunity attacks because you guys are flying higher than the swarm directly underneath you. So, I'm trying to figure out where I should put this, like who you're blocking off.
Okay, if we're not going to be getting, if we're not going to be hit with any opportunity attacks, God. I'm mainly am just trying to block off. I wish I could like draw it on the screen for you, but I'm mainly trying to block off the doorway, so we like will have some time for us to go through the door, and hopefully the wall will prevent them from chasing us further.
So you would like to go through the door before you do this?
Well, I'm trying to make sure the wall, like kind of like I said, a half circle around Xanthi and Fairuz to block off like the door to the monsters.
Right. If you did it just like that, you would also, like, you would be barring it off from, young swarm number 2. But the adult swarm is under you guys. So.
Oh shit. Okay, so. Well, first, I guess bonus action, Dragon's Breath on the adult swarm below us.
Alrighty.
So Dex saving throw of 20.
That is
While he's
22.
doing that- While he's doing that, Xanthi, you will hear from Fairuz that I will not get another chance like this within this future, I expect. If I can exterminate them here and now, I would prefer to do that.
Xanthi, just in response, goes, I'm on my last legs here. We need to finish this fast if we're going to do this. And also, by the way, Matt, silvery barbs.
Okay. That's cocked. 19.
What? Was that the adult swarm?
Yes.
Minus a d6? Wait, no, sorry. Wrong save. Ignore me.
Either way,
It's
19
not-
doesn't save, so that means they take full damage.
Nice.
Right.
All right, that is going to be an 8, a 7, A 4 and a 5.
32 points of damage. Alrighty. So that's your
So,
bonus action.
have any of them died?
There is still 4.
There's still 4. Fuck. I am going to then cast the Wall of Fire and try to fly away using my full 30 movement speed to head out the door towards the baby and telling and pretty much just trying to get some cover behind the wall of some sort away, so just so she can avoid trying to get hit.
So 60 feet can basically get you directly above the baby, who is in a swarm of young Kruthic.
All right. Well, I can't really do much, but I will be hovering above the baby, and
Right.
I will. That will be the end of my turn.
Alrighty, so wall of fire / wall of lightning. Are you basically like with what Faeruz said? Are you gonna like block the door off so Faeruz can say, "I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me"?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alrighty, then I'm going to. Where are my props? There you go. I'm just gonna. What? How long is a line that you can make?
What for Wall of Lightning?
Yeah. / wall of fire.
I believe it is 120 feet.
Jesus.
Yeah, baby.
So that's literally going to go and end in this room.
If you angle it, could you cut into a young swarm and still cut off the door from like, you know?
You can turn
Ooh.
this technically. So
But
and
we'll
it's
also hit
how
Petrified.
thick is it? Like 10 feet thick?
Let's
I think it's 5 feet thick, but you can choose which side burns. So if you set it right in front of me, but have the other side as what burns, I will be fine.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, I will do that. It is a 1 foot thick wall.
1 foot thick. Okay. So then we're just doing it for vibes here. Because that's 30 feet. Jesus. Yeah, we're just going to put one more on here for simplicity, and we're going to call it a day. 60. So that like blocks off the whole thing. You can angle it though to hit young swarm number 2. So go ahead and roll damage. This is the one that subtracts a d6. Correct? No, this one is hexed.
The younger one is hexed. The older one, minus a d6.
Okay.
That's hexed.
So,
And checks.
Xanthi, take a first level spell back for that silvery barbs because you didn't need it.
Hell yeah.
This one here, this is young swarm number 2. Still has 10 members, so that is a 19, which actually fails Xanthi's spell save. So give me all that damage.
All right, so I'm casting this on 5th level, so it is going to be 68. 68 plus what? Yeah, 68 fire damage. So, oh, another 68 of something. I love this for me.
Nice.
Where are you at? Okay. All right. Okay, so that is going to be an 8, a 2, a 5, a 5, and a 7.
27 to young swarm 2. So, young swarm 2 loses 3 members. Hell yeah.
And Xanthi is now hovering over the baby.
Correct. Alrighty.
Of the baby.
Is Wall of Lightning concentration?
Oh, fuck. It is concentration.
So will you be dropping Draconic Transformation?
Yes, but I believe I can still have my wings up, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, that's from you being a
Draconic sorceress.
correct.
So yeah, yes, I would be dropping draconic transformation, but I will still be flying and hovering above the baby because I got my
Gotcha.
wings.
Absolutely fair. Young Swarm number 2. Do they take damage at the beginning of their turn or the end of their turn?
End of their turn if they don't leave the range.
Okay, they are going to definitely leave the range. They can get like over here. They just can't do anything about Feyru's flying.
Yeah, girly pop.
Actually, they can. I will need to know. They were like there. So I will do movement because they can do one other thing. How tall is your wall? 10 feet?
How tall it is?
Yeah.
I believe it's 20 feet tall.
That works. 15 gets you there. 30 feet, so 5 feet. 35 is what they can do, so 70 feet this way. Alrighty. They're making their way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and they're homebound. The adult swarm is going to use its spikes to try and attack Feyru's. You will have to make a dexterity saving throw.
What is the DC?
DC is double checking now, should be
That is a
4.
15.
So 14 is the save, so 3 plus
me.
4, 7 plus 12, 19 points of piercing normally, so you will take 9 points of piercing damage.
Oh,
And I believe you are concentrating now, so go ahead and roll that concentration check.
that is a 14. Oh, no, I thought that was a 9. It's a 19. Definitely passes.
Definitely passes. Alrighty. That is the adult swarm. Hive Lord B. Gets its recharge on its acid breath, so, and because it's the only thing that it can do, it will do this to try and eliminate the threat. So I need Feyru's, the young swarm, and the adult swarm to all make dexterity saving throws. DC
Nope.
of 14. So gonna
Oh,
start
no.
with the adult swarm. Adult swarm passes, and then this one is +7. That also passes, so they will take half.
That was only an 11 for that saving throw.
11 does not pass. 13. Uh, 17. Ooh, 26 points of acid damage for Feyru's, half of that being 13 to the adult swarm. And this is young swarm number 2. Yes. So we'll do the young swarm
Her
first.
is not looking good, but she looks
18.
very determined regardless.
6 plus 13, 19. So, nope, I take that back. So that's this way. 13 is going to be 4. Alrighty. I fucked that up. Okay, math is fucking with me today. There is now 5 left in that swarm, and then the adult swarm taking 13 is going to be 8 left over. 3 left in the adult swarm, and actually they reduce in size now because there is not enough of them. Cool. Excellent turn, Hive Lord B. And you passed your concentration check.
Yes.
Okay, it is your turn.
So, Favors is going to cast our favorite, yet not often used in this campaign, Eldritch Blast.
Hey.
The Adult Swarm.
Alrighty. Roll the hit.
That's a 20 hit, dirty 20 on the first, right?
Does hit.
16 to hit on the second.
16 does not hit.
22 on the third.
That does hit. So 2 beams give me 2d10s.
Cool. That is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 points of force damage, and it is repelling and agonizing blast, so that includes the damage already. They will be pushed back 10 feet, I believe. We'll do it away from me.
Okay.
Let me
This
check
is
something.
how this is gonna go.
Am I able to push them into the cage? The force cage?
No, because the force cage is technically up because they were all on the ceiling.
Oh, okay. No worries, yeah. Then I'll just push them away.
How far away?
10 feet.
Per beam, so that's technically 5, 10. Oh wait, there's 2 of them over there. This guy is now 1.
Amazing.
Alrighty.
As a bonus action, let me see if I can do this real quick. No, I shan't do that. Will I invoke opportunity if I move now?
Attack of opportunity? No, you're too high up.
I am just going to take a moment to closer towards the door. You alright there, darling?
Go towards the door? Okay.
Just to be closer to the party.
Alrighty. That's fair. Will that be all for you?
That will be all. She not looking. Wait. Did I have a bonus? I use my movement. I use my action. May I take a bonus action to roll for my potion of healing?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. 2d4 plus 2. And she heals for 7 plus 2. 9. Nice. Cool, we're good. Still not looking good, but better than nothing.
Alrighty. Got it. Alrighty. So, next up after Faeruz would be Young Swarm number 1, who can't do shit. Hive Lord A is dead. Young Swarm number 3 is the one outside with the baby. So,
And Xanthi.
yeah, but Xanthi's too high for the Young Swarm to do anything. You know who's not too high? Riley. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Haven't been touched. Hopefully it stays that way.
Well, one way to find out. Back tactics, rolling with advantage. +5 to hit. That is a 15.
Miss.
Alrighty, and you luck out because the Young Swarm only has 1 attack. So, now it's Riley's turn. Oh, we'll just move this over because I don't know if we're going to need that again.
Xanthi is too far away to be considered me having an ally.
Not within
Right.
5 feet of them, yep.
Great. Fantastic. Love this for me. Bonus action, steady aim.
Okay.
to give myself advantage, which then will give me sneak attack.
Provided that you hit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Does the banishment just only work once, or is it just if I crit?
Due to the nature of this dagger, if you crit and you're concentrating on banishment, it's going to be a second instance of banishment.
Fantastic. Well, I didn't crit, but just wondering because we haven't ever discussed that before.
Yeah.
That is a 25 to hit.
Absolutely does.
Great. Love. And how many? Good Lord. I never get a fight as Riley.
Yeah, you don't, because everybody's like, protect the baby, and the baby just wants to stab.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $12, 14, 16, 19, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 30 points of piercing damage.
30 points of piercing damage. Okay.
I miss playing rogues.
This one here. Alrighty. 30 points. Nothing there.
Please.
Alrighty. There is one young Kruthic left from this swarm.
Cool. Well, I can't really do much else, except stare the fucker down.
Alrighty. That's going to bring us to Xanthi's turn. You are muted in StreamYard.
Sorry about that. All right. There's only one more left, correct?
One little guy.
One little guy. Okay. So, Xanthi is pretty much just gonna be like, it's time to fucking end this. She's gonna pop her knuckles, and she immediately extends her hand, snapping her fingers as this bolt of lightning comes out of her hand as she casts Lightning Bolt. It will make a dex save of 20.
All right. Does that pass? Oh my god, does that pass? Where's the babies? Show me the babies. It passed its dex save.
Silvery barbs.
just not say anything.
Spiteful bitch.
Oh yeah.
You let her have the spell and taught her what it does.
That one was higher, so it does still pass.
God damn it.
It's still half damage.
I know still. But so that will be for lightning bolt, that will be 8d6.
All right. Pretty much you got to roll all ones for this thing to survive.
5, 6. Oh, it's 8. So this is going to be 6, and I'm going to have to roll 2 more. Oh, fuck. Okay, so that will be 4, 2, 1, 3, 5.
Stop. You killed it.
Yes. All right. With that, She will then be landing beside the baby. Yeah, she's just going to be landing beside the kind of hovering beside the baby, waiting for Faeruz to pretty much be done with what they're doing. Because Xanthi is, she's barely fucking standing. Like her wings are like, ugh. Like she is looking rough.
Alrighty.
Can't really engage in further combat.
Young Swarm number 2 is this one down here. Oh, this is the one that is up on the thingy. So it can get over to Faeruz and attack. Whoops. That doesn't count. That is a natural 20.
Cool.
Alrighty. And from the baby of the group. Alrighty, so that's going to be 4 plus 4 is 8. And then how many of them are there? 5. So 8 plus 15 is 23 points of piercing damage. Faeruz.
Cool. Really not looking good.
Alrighty.
Get out.
That'll be concentration check, which I'm sure you're going to pass.
Yeah, 12.
You said 12? Yeah, that makes it. Ooh, yeah. I would need to have done like 3 more points of damage, which I rolled max, so they couldn't have. So this one is just one little guy. But now that he's on his own, he's going to attack twice with his spikes, which is going to do less damage overall, but he gets to do it twice now. So, Faeruz. That first hit's going to be a 12.
Does not hit.
Second hit, much better. That is a 24.
24 hits.
Alrighty. That's going to be a d4 plus... I forget what these things do when they're not in a swarm. D4 plus 3. So 3 plus 1, 4 points of piercing damage from its second attack. Okay.
Okay.
Second swarm is going to advance, and this is going to be the one that is a dexterity saving throw on your part. However, the DC is only going to be 12. I take it back. 13. 13 is the DC.
Does not make it. That was only a 5.
Okay, so you will take all of this. So 1 plus 5 plus 6, a total of 11 piercing damage.
Cool. Really not looking good.
Alrighty. Just for the sake of argument, you can go ahead and do the what's called concentration check. See if the Hive Lord gets its acid breath back. But here's the thing: are you still in range? Yes, barely. That one is on the... Yeah, that one's still going to get hit, which is going to suck for it. But I will need a DC 14 dexterity saving throw from Faeruz.
I think even with half damage, he's going to go down.
Well, it depends on how we roll, I think.
That is dexterity.
Yes.
DC? What's a DC?
14.
14 exactly.
So you do pass. You will take half of this, which is good because I'm actually rolling really good.
He's on 6
The
hit points.
halved is going to be. You have how much?
6.
6. Okay. So that is a total of 15 points of acid damage. Alrighty.
Dropping from the sky.
Which I'd hate to be a stickler for the rules, but that's 30 feet of fall damage. That would be 1 failed death save. Alrighty. So you are no longer concentrating, which is kind of very low on the list of priorities right now. Unconscious is over here.
So the hex drop. The hex drops. I believe the force. Let me check the force cage. I actually just. Sure that stays up. No.
Yeah, force cage is
Yeah.
not concentration.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So
Not
that-
hexed.
Yes. It is your turn. I will need you to roll a death saving throw. Please send it to me privately.
Okay. Where are you, man? There you go.
Right here. Dia, I'm here. I'm here.
Found you.
Noted. Alrighty. So, Young Swarm number 1 is the dead one, so we're going to clean up our initiative real quick. Remove from initiative. That's the dead one. That's that one. That's why. Hive Lord A is dead as well, so remove from initiative. Riley, it is your turn. Actually, this is a good time. I'm going to shoot you a message, KJ, because I might need you to do me a favor.
Oh, buddy. As you're waiting to send that to me, I'm gonna fucking do a...
I'm fucking nervous, y'all. God damn.
Okay, I could get there. What would that take up in action economy?
Speaking is a free action.
Fantastic. We will do that.
Which
As
is good
soon
because
as-
he's in chat.
Yeah. As soon as shit goes sideways, Riley would see Faerus go down, and just before doing anything, would shoot Borrow the message over the earring saying, "Things are not going great. We could use a little help on our exit." And then we'll use my movement to get to Faerus.
I will say upon seeing Faerus, if it is possible, will I be able to just drop the spell, or what?
Dropping concentration is a free action that can be done at any time, but that does open up this door.
That's fine. Riley will get there. What does Petrichor have for healing spells? Bonus actions. What do I have for bonus actions?
Not enough.
Real. God, that would be morbid. Not doing that.
I just saw Ren pop into the chat. I love you. I'm sorry.
You know what? Fuck it, we ball. Riley's gonna cast Heal,
Oh.
and you gain 70 hit points.
7-0?
Yes.
7-0.
Nice.
Where Tarzan at? Who knows? He's never where we need him. And then that's my bonus.
Tarzan couldn't play tonight, so you guys are not coming in tonight.
Is it still difficult terrain from where I am? Out? Or was that
No,
just in the webbing?
just in the webbing.
Fantastic. So it was only 20 feet there, so I have 20 feet of normal movement plus bonus action dash, which would give me an extra 40, so I have 60 feet that I can use. I'm going to use it to grab Faeruz and start pulling Faeruz back with me. Forced movement does not incur opportunity attacks.
You are right. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a 10-year-old dragging an adult woman.
Well,
That's
isn't it?
fine.
She's air genasi. Isn't she like super light? If she's light enough for Mage Hand to carry her, I'm pretty sure.
Well, she was under the effects of levitate.
True, but she's also said she's never actually touching the ground.
And she is revived again.
So it's not dead weight.
Not that way.
All right.
Which I'm still having my movement, so I only get 30 feet back that I can do. Because
That's right.
I am still moving another creature. Which
This
would
works.
be... I gotta move the screen down so I can do this shit.
Oh my
Da.
God.
Da. Ta-da. End my turn. Next.
Alrighty. Xanthi is up next.
So as is the baby and Faeruz have passed Xanthi.
We are behind you.
As
Yeah, they are behind you, which is
Yeah,
a good
so-
spot to be on the sorcerer that's angry.
Yes. He is. So let me check my distance on this. Hold on. Because Xanthi's about to fuck some shit up. She is angry. Oh yeah, this is 150 feet. I got this in the bag. I would like to use my 8th level spell slot to catch chain lightning on the on the
Fuck.
So let's see, let me read this for chain lightning. So you create a bolt of lightning that arcs toward the target of your choice that you can see within range. 3 bolts leap from the target to as many as 3 other targets. So I would like to and then 3 other targets, and I believe so when cast this spell using a higher level spell slot of a 7th level or higher, 1 additional bolt leaps from the first target to another target for each slot above 6th level. So
Okay.
I'm doing this at 8th level,
Right.
and so I believe it should hit all of the.
Okay. One step at a time. You are first trying to hit the first one,
Yes,
which I'm guessing is Young Swarm number 2, since that is in your direct field of view.
Yes, they will all need to make dexterity saving throws of 20. And since I'm casting this on 8th level, it means I get to add 2 more bolts of lightning to what comes out of that target.
Okay. So they did pass the save.
Barbs.
They did fail the save.
Yes! Okay. That was my last silvery barbs. I'm hoping that shit is coming in clutch.
You could cast it at higher levels if you want. It just doesn't do anything extra.
Well, yeah, but still. But yeah, so they fail their saving throw. They will be taking. So I believe, due to the fact I'm casting at 8th level, I get 2 more bolts of lightning. So that should hit every creature in the room because I have 150 feet of like chain lightning. That is my range.
Double checking. Each target must be within 30 feet of the first target. So, definitely, you have. So that is 3. This is normally 6th level. Alrighty. 3 other targets. So, total of 5 targets that are within 30 feet. So, measure. So, yes. Yes. As the Pythagorean, you know what I mean? The
Pythagoras.
math. That's like 10 feet. So, okay, I will say this. That. Oh wait, these are halved. Yeah, that's going to hit every single creature in the room. So,
Beautiful.
adult swarm, that is 2 peeps. Fails. Adult swarm, that is 1 peep. Fails. Hive Lord. +3 does pass for the Hive Lord. And then the young swarm in the cage. That's young swarm number 1.
And if the cage drops, if Faber's...
The cage does not drop for an hour.
Fuck yeah.
So the only one that will pass is the Hive Lord. Everything else will take full damage of what you roll.
Oh, I love this. Okay, Dice ASMR. This is going to be 10d8. All right.
Jesus fuck. Xanthi is done with this shit.
Okay, we have 8, we have 7, we have 7.
Whoa, slow down. Hang on. 8, 7 was the first 2 that you said, so that's 15. Okay, go from there.
8, 7, 7.
22.
5 and 4.
I think that you cut out for a lot of those because I only heard like 4 numbers.
I heard 5 and 4.
2, 5, and 4 were the last 3.
You rolled 10 dice.
Well, I need to roll my other. Yeah. I need to roll my other ones. So
15,
She only has
2,
so
5, and
many
4.
dice
Right,
she
right,
can
right.
roll at a time.
I need to get
17,
more.
22, 26. Okay, roll your second set.
All right. I rolled 6.
I'm stressing.
Okay. Let me. All right. We got a 2 6s, an 8, and a 4.
26, 32, 38, 46, 50 points of damage to everybody. So, that's that. That's that.
How many bitches do I fuck up, Matt?
I'm trying to get you an accurate number.
Yay.
Just that. Or no, that's actually 50 points of damage. So
It's the tiny whispers in the mic.
it's 1, 50. So 10, yeah. Xanthi Nightingale.
Yes.
There are, I shit you not, there is 7 plus 5, 12. 13, 14, 15. 16 creatures in this room that have HP before you cast this spell. And it's at this point that I ask, how do you want to do this?
Yes. You as Xanthi sees Riley and Favors run past them, and she's got blood on the side of her head. She's got spikes sticking out of her. She's ripping, she's taken all of these out, and she turns and she sees these things coming through the doorway, and she goes, I am fucking done with this. And she just steps forward, again extending her hands. She crosses her fingers over and she snaps, and you just see chain lightning just spew from her palms as it hits the first target and then goes to the other, and slowly you see one by one as each of them are just sizzling and just seething into ash until there's just nothing left. She then kind of brushes herself off. She turns to Fairuz, she turns to Riley, and she goes, we're getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to use... are we out of initiative?
Yeah, I was going to use this as a moment to kind of get your last thoughts before ending the session, because the next thing that's going to happen is the group trying to meet up. And then get out.
The only thing I can...
Door them out of there.
You can only dimension door yourself and one other individual.
Yes, I was planning on using my last 4 spell slots to add my other... I'd be willing to use the 3 spell slots in order to first teleport Riley, then teleport back to Fairuz, and then teleport Fairuz over. Because Xanthi's on her last fucking leg. She's willing to use the last of her spell slots to get the fuck out of here.
The only thing I can think of is in those last kind of final moments before we try to dip, Riley would try to see if there's any other valuable thing here that might be helpful for recharging the dial, which I don't think there is, but would cast that cursory glance just in case.
Because as she said, she's not going to have this opportunity to come back here again. She needs to make sure what is in this place is found.
Okay. I will have... So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to have you guys both roll separate Arcana checks, because you guys are looking for different things. I love that there is a 20-foot cage hanging from the roof that has 8 dead bodies in it that's just chilling there.
That is our charm.
And Fairuz would ask for the artifact before checking the rest of everything.
Uh-huh. Sure. Hold.
Where's the 17?
Please. Ooh. That's actually pretty good for Riley. I have no bonuses. It's a 19.
It's a 19. Alrighty. And what did you get, Fairuz?
17.
17. And then you also asked Riley for the orb.
For the artifact. That's the first thing she wants to secure before even considering anything else.
Sure.
For narrative purposes, I'm going to flip that. But don't worry. It's okay.
Okay.
In the room, there are a couple other things that might have ended up still being left here. With the 17, you know that before the Kruthic even got here, somebody else was in here. So potentially some of the things that were in here are still missing, but there are a few books and scrolls that for sure would be useful. Are they anything game breaking or anything? No, there are definitely some books that you look over that are talking about very high level rituals. You can kind of gather that this is restricted magic, kind of. But yeah, we'll kind of go over that post session, all the little looty bits that you can grab.
Rose is thinking, you know who would pay a pretty penny for these? The monks. After I bring them.
Gorgeous. Riley, looking at all the things that are in this room, nothing other than the orb in your hand
In my
strikes
bag of
you.
holding.
Well, still in the bag of holding. Nothing else in the room appears to have the arcane power that one would need to power the dimensional dial.
Cool.
And then you willingly hand over this orb to Feyruz. You said
As you ask for it, Riley says, "We get out of here first, then you can have it."
I only asked one thing of your group at the start of this journey. We have acquired it. I would give serious thought to considering whether this is the course of action you take now. And she's not saying that in a threatening manner. She sounds concerned. Like,
Feyruz, I'm not going to keep it, but I've known a lot of sketchy people in my life who have started out very nice and very helpful. So forgive my paranoia, but until we are out of this citadel, I'm keeping a hold of it. You can have it as soon as we're out those doors, but we gotta
If
get
you
out of this
insist.
building.
then allow me to observe it first. Saban has been very tight-lipped on what it actually is, and I wish to know what we've endured all this for.
We'll pull it out of the bag, but we'll keep it in her hand.
Where is it? Can I ritual cast Identify?
You don't have to,
Okay. Oh no.
because since you already identified the Naginata wind vein, you 100% would be able to identify a devastation orb.
Good lord.
In
God,
particular, one tied to the elemental plane of Earth.
no.
And that is where we will end our session.
Are you?
Thank you, everybody, for coming in for part 2 of the Siege of Skyreach Citadel. We're going to try to get the entire party back together for the next
Wait.
the next session. We're going to have to figure out some scheduling, so tune into all the social medias for a post on when we are going to take this adventure next. Thank you very much. I've been Matt, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.